And a very happy Friday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato. A Caesar available in both original and variety 12 packs. A great pack size for entertaining and hanging out with friends. It's a very special hangout today. Tom Gazzola is here. No offense. It's cool having you here. Not a big deal. Jay Milne is here. Yeah. EST glue guy. You've been great to have in every week. But again, no offense, not that big of a deal.
I play second fiddle to
because Jason Strudwick joins us today. Struddy, welcome.
Hey,
welcome.
Hang on, who?
It's nice. That's
number
nice, Tom.
43
start, Tom.
in your program, but number 1 in your heart.
Yeah, that's true.
Jason
I used to take naps in your house. I used to take naps in your bed, and that's the reception.
I miss you, Struddy. I love you.
I miss your bed.
Glue guy and glue guy, like Javier and Javier. We just,
that's right.
Fantastic.
To royalty. Royalty.
Yes.
We have
I like it. I like where this is starting out.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like out of place almost because it's like athlete.
No, not
broadcast.
an athlete.
I don't know
But he's
about
not like Tom. Sorry, Tom. No disrespect.
No,
but
European distance runner over here. Short shorts, culottes, basically. That's all I do.
Yeah.
We got Bone Crusher over there.
Yeah.
Was that the nickname officially?
I think, from Jed. That's what he said.
I think it was
yeah.
something like Bone Crusher.
Yeah, you
How did
better
you
watch
earn it?
yourself coming over
Yeah,
the middle.
apparently he like destroyed people.
Wow, I like
Yeah,
that.
that was my thing. That's back when you could hit with your head.
Right.
And you didn't have to you didn't have to practice all this safe hitting and proper form tackling.
Right.
So yeah, that was my gig.
I like that. That's
There was a
good
story
name.
of one of the games. He turned it around because he just took some guy out.
Yeah.
That kid is still trying to find where he lives.
He is.
Can't find his way home.
Somewhere lost in Burnaby.
And we've got then the NHLer here now.
Yes.
It's,
Former.
No,
but
it's
still elite player.
He's still absolutely.
Elite coach. Elite
The Oilers
coach
might be
now.
able to use you on the blue line at times this
man.
year, you know?
Oh man, what
Hey.
a craziness! Yeah. Well, at least I know when to pinch and not to pinch, right? I think that's a good start.
I would say
sensitive topic, Tom. Why is that sensitive for you?
Oh, no,
pinching?
I'm just enjoying this.
Okay, so I'm like I said to you outside. I'm not a hockey guy.
Sure,
but
right.
I know a little bit enough to know that when things are a little out of place. So I've been waiting since I knew you were coming on.
Wow.
I wanted to get the straight goods from you on exactly what the issue is with the Oilers defensively.
Right.
I mean, I can see it. That Bouchard looks like he is a lost puppy out there.
Yeah.
Is that what you like? Break it down.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 hours.
Yeah.
I asked for a flow chart and some pens to break it all
Here's
down.
I'll get you the
what I need.
whiteboard.
I don't use green Expo markers. I'm sorry. So honestly, I think that D zone and playing D is not a skill. To me, it's a will and it's a desire to be harder to play against. You work your whole life to become skilled to be able to make plays, the passing, the shooting, and the patience with the puck. But on the defensive side, it's just about wanting to be in the right place consistently and then having it be a habit in your game. And, not to pick on Bouchard, but, at times it's like it's an afterthought, right? And the problem is when it's an afterthought, it's too late. When you recognize that you are in trouble, it's too late, right? In the NHL, especially when you're playing against players like he is, they're the top 2 lines mostly. So you really have to be self-aware, and there's got to be a little like spidey sense in your mind that says, okay, there's something wrong. What's going on? Why am I not in the right place? Bang, and then goal. Like you think about when they played Seattle the other night, Adam Larson's taking a 3-on-3 rush, and then he literally moves right out of the way to go do someone else's job, and that gives Connor McDavid a breakaway. So it happens on other teams. I mean, Adam, I think, is a pretty good defender. We'd all agree, but for the Oilers as a whole, and that includes the forwards, you have to be, prepared and thinking about what am I doing defensively as soon as the puck's turned over and a willingness to do it. Because it's not hard to do. It's just a dedication to want to do it.
So they do suck.
Every team makes mistakes, right? And you just want to give up goals where they had to earn it. Like the goal that Connor McDavid scored, where Adam Larsson got out of the way. I wouldn't say that Connor earned that one. It was a nice move, wasn't an incredible move, but Adam gave him that. I call it gifting. He gifted that goal. And the Oilers have given up something like that as well. But you'd rather have to be where you really have to earn it. And I think we could look to the overtime against Seattle, where Bouchard, Hyman, and Kane, they earned that goal. They grinded. I've never seen a 3-on-3 shift where it's a grinding like that for that long. But they earned that goal, and there's a breakdown. They scored. So as a coach, you're like, well, they earned it. Right, it wasn't a gifting goal, so that's the difference. I'd like to see them get rid of some of those gifting goals and add more goals that were earned again.
Struddy, your spidey sense, can we tap into it on that Larson? I'm glad you brought up that Larson play because Do you think that was him knowing Leon and trying to use that knowledge from his time playing with Leon to go after him, and then he got overzealous and left the lane for Connor to take it?
Yeah, so you're saying like he went to Leon to try
Because
to take
he
his time
thinks
to make
he
a
has
play.
an advantage having played with
Yeah,
Leon.
I
Because
think
I
so.
thought that immediately. I was
Yeah.
like, maybe he's overdoing it a bit.
But I think he's trying to go do someone else's job. There's
Okay.
a player there, so let him do his job, right? Because as soon as you leave Connor, guess what? Connor's getting the puck from Leon, right?
Yes.
Like that's what they do. So everyone has to kind of just allow each other to do their job, and it's hard. It's a desire to do something and help your team out. And a guy I think who does that a lot is Darnell Nurse. I think Darnell's trying to do everybody else's job. When he's at his best, he's doing his job, and he's a very good skater, very physical, can make a first pass. But when he starts getting running around, it's from a desire of wanting to do too much. And then all of a sudden, you're not doing your job, you're trying to do someone else's job. Well, now there's two people doing the same job, and no one's doing your original job.
Right.
I think that's where, like, defense is a lot about, and this also includes the forwards, about being patient, being in the right areas, and let everyone just do their job. If there's a breakdown, then you go support your buddy. But most often, NHLers should be able to defend one-on-one, right? And if they don't, then you jump in there. Now it's a 2-on-1, but it's not like it's happening 50% of the time.
Right.
But we got right into the hot topic right away. Eh?
I know.
Well,
So
Jay
like
jumped
that's-
in.
I had
He's a
to.
jump
right
I've
into
been
this,
waiting
so
because I
It's
just.
not even like buy me a drink.
I offered you.
It's all right there,
Oh, you know what he
Yeah.
said? That's what he said. He said, "I said, Struddy, shoot. If I should have got you a coffee." And he says, "No worries." He called me kid. He said, "No worries, kid. I'm high on life."
I didn't say
did.
He actually did
I
say
didn't
that.
say kid. I said I get high on life. I don't need coffee. I didn't say kid.
He didn't say
I
kid, but-
said that I get high on life.
Yes, he
High
did
on
say
life.
that part. That is not even Jay just making that up.
I do have a question. Okay, well, Jay was a safety. Obviously, you played D. You played a little bit of forward too. But is there any, like, Jay, when you listen to Struddy talk about playing defense, like, do you recognize some elements of it? The way you
100%.
would read your linebackers, the way you would see things developing with your line.
It's a
and
lot
stuff?
of vision because
Yeah.
you're seeing things happen before they happen. That's why less talented, 40 runners strength wise, I wasn't the guy, but I'd get there because I was aware. You had awareness. My football IQ was high, so it made it easier to read those plays and see what was coming and developing, which made me as a slower guy, comparatively, be able to hang in there, right? So yes, football IQ, hockey IQ, which is what you're saying, is the will and kind of seeing things develop and knowing when to pinch, knowing when not to, is I think a more important part of the game in most sports than physical attributes and soft hands and whatnot. So your football IQ, especially for me, was needed. And I must say, we're both getting roasted right now
For what?
on the nasty
Is it,
chat.
if I had to take a guess,
Yeah, go ahead.
is it the hair?
Yeah.
There's only people with hair watch this show?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of bald people out there. Send pictures of your hair.
Yeah, all you guys, Penner's Pancakes, Spency 5 cents, like
Yeah,
you
were
know.
Jay and Struddy separated at birth? Maddie put a hat on Struds, the light is bouncing off his forehead, something fierce.
All of a sudden, all these experts say, it's Mr. Perfect, Mr. and Mrs. Perfect.
This is egregious.
Yeah, I
don't
bet
know.
you.
We probably shouldn't have sat side by side.
Yeah, well, it's too much good looking in one area.
Yeah, thanks.
Just upsetting.
Turn the heat down.
People like to rip on things that they can't have, and,
right,
and they have, you guys have this
right.
look to you,
Personalities.
and they want it, but they can't have it, so
Exactly.
they get mad and they try bringing you down.
It's
That's
like
what's
the lowest
going on.
common denominator. Go after it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
but
hashtag too sexy.
You're getting a little bit of grays on your side.
I am. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
just-
It's looking pretty
Well,
good.
working with Ryan Rashog, right? It stresses me out.
Yeah.
How is it
daily.
having Rashog as a boss?
Good. He's very nice guy, and he's he's very detail oriented.
Yeah.
I think a lot like yourself. Am I right, Tommy?
No comment.
That's me. Well,
And,
Yes, very detail oriented, which
yeah.
is good.
Yeah, and so it's great. Like it's a lot of fun, and much like you guys, you kind of set it up and you're doing your own thing, right? It's away from, not that I don't like corporate, but it's a little bit different, and you're kind of the freedom to do your own thing and choose your own course about how you want it to look.
See, and we got a different answer from like Darren Dreger because he's like, God help us, Rashog's our boss type thing.
Yeah, well, Drager,
You know.
he can't. He just does his own thing.
Well, he
I don't
still
think
dictates what Rashog does, even though
Yeah.
Rashog pays him.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like, there's this weird dichotomy to it.
Yeah. No, he's
we
very
know.
very detailed, and I appreciate that because you know exactly what is expected and what we're doing, and I like that.
But I feel like you probably, having known Ryan for a long time, know how to work him too. Because he's a softie.
Well, I know there was the one
Yeah,
day
yeah.
that you weren't there in time.
Oh, yeah, no, okay. So,
So
let's-
I like that
okay.
there was
Yeah,
a
let's
post
do a
game
deep dive
show.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Ryan Rashog was there. Rob Brown was there.
Right.
And there was a question mark
Yeah.
where Jason Strudwick was supposed to be.
Yeah, that was the weakest show we ever had. So let's go. Let's tell you.
Ooh,
talk about
numbies
the-
were low that day.
Yeah, they were.
Strudwick's not there?
Yeah, it
Yes.
wasn't there. Yeah,
Struddy bum.
The
That's the
female
man.
demographic, 24 to 35, wasn't tuning in. So you look at the situation. This was so I get a text on it. Let's say it was 9:00. We're doing 9:00. So I'm like, okay. So I go to a family dinner. All of a sudden, come out. It's been moved to like 8:30. You can't just change things. Like I have a busy schedule, right? You don't just change things like that. So yeah, so that was a failure by Schauger and Rob Brown. So yeah, and I'll call him out right now. That's how it is.
Well, Ryan called you out right here.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, well, not in this show.
Yeah, but,
he hasn't come to the hangout.
yeah.
I don't know if he'll ever come to the hangout.
We
I don't know.
invite.
He's
Okay.
I haven't invited him yet, actually.
I
will say
invited
that.
him.
Have
I'm
you?
sorry, I have. I don't think it's
No.
my call, but I've invited
You're
him.
part of the co-host, the co-facilitator.
Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate that very much. But I said, hey, it'd be great to have you on the Hangout. And he goes, yeah. I think I could make it out. Like when I do my hit on a Monday, maybe I could do it live in person. And then I could stick around and hang out with you guys for a little bit. And I was like, thank you, Ryan. That's very nice of you to give us your time like that. And then we haven't heard anything since. That was like a
Well, I
month
haven't
ago.
asked him. See, I followed up with Struddy. I didn't
Yeah.
ask Ryan.
Well,
I should ask Ryan.
I stand with Struddy on this
yeah?
on this debate. We have to.
Yeah.
We're brothers in hair or lack
Well,
of
I was about to say,
And
or-
name.
brothers in name.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Name
And
hair.
like good athletes.
Right.
defensive
elite-
I
acumen.
mean, I didn't play
athlete.
18
The
years of
IQ.
professional
Yeah.
hockey, but
Yeah, you could have.
maybe I
You were,
could have. Maybe hockey was
safety.
the wrong sport.
Yeah, well, you never know. We'll never know, right?
I guess we'll never know.
Did you ever try out for CFL or anything?
I went to the combine.
Yeah?
Yeah. Shouldn't have.
Why not?
Why?
But,
Just
yeah.
like didn't even come close to look like what was the issue?
remember earlier I was telling you that I wasn't the fastest
Yeah.
guy on the field?
So the 40 didn't go well?
40 didn't go well. And actually, a funny story. I shouldn't have went, but I did because my ego got in the way. So I was like, I got to go to the combine.
Yeah.
How often do you get to go to the combine? So flew me out to, it was in, this is around Toronto. And they take you to this big sports dome. And they do like the test, like the IQ test. I forget the exact name of it. Nailed it. But they, but then they take you and they do your testing, your physical testing. So I was actually rooming with a guy named Etienne Boulay, who ended up having a pretty good career with the Alouettes.
Alouettes, yeah.
Safety. And we were rooming, and he's like, so, he's, looking at himself in the mirror the night before, and he's like, so how, because you rep out at 225. That's what they test you on. He's like, how many are you thinking you're going to get up? And at the time when I was training, like on a good day, I could muster like 6. That was like earth shattering for me. And I'm like, I don't know, Etienne. What do you think you got in the tank? And he's like, if I don't hit 25, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we get to the day of testing, and I bomb. Like I didn't bomb. Like I think I ran like a 4.78 or something, or I don't know, 4.8 something, which is okay, but it's not okay for that caliber. And then we go to the bench, and Adam Rita is the guy running the bench.
Adam Rita.
Yeah. And I'm like, I gotta pull the chute on this. Like, I can't do this. Like, everybody else is putting up 12 minimum, and like, I don't want to embarrass myself further. So, I faked a pectoral injury. I said, sorry, can't do it.
I know a guy
Can't
that
go.
faked an ankle injury. Might be sitting right beside you.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't. Well, I had an injury, and it's a long story, but yeah.
Well, we'll get to that right away.
I all
Yeah.
out faked
Yeah.
this, right? And then he called me out. He called my BS. He's like,
Who,
you're not.
Jen did?
No, Adam
Adam
Rita.
Rita.
He's like, you're not injured. I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, do you want me to call him? And then I doubled down. I'm like, do you want me to get my trainer on the phone? He's like, next. So we carried on. And actually, it was a good thing because by the time we got to one-on-ones, and I mean, this was the year that Andy Fantuz came out, Ivan Barungi from the East Coast, he was out at Acadia, like some good caliber receivers. There was only 2 defensive backs left at the time where they were going to go to one-on-ones. So, like, a couple guys pulled their hammy. One guy, Jason Nugent, remember him?
I remember.
He was from Rutgers. He blew his knee out. So there's 2 of us left, and we're going up against, like, studs of studs receivers. And guess who's throwing them the ball?
Rita?
Damon Allen.
Oh,
Who was still playing at the time, right?
Yeah. He was with Toronto.
Yeah.
So it actually it didn't go bad. Like I think I did like probably 10 reps, and I think there was only like a couple completions. So that part looked good. But I'll never forget after it was all over, the GMs are coming around talking to guys. I remember Tom Higgins was there, and at that point you were still sharing your information, like your mixtape or your highlight tape on DVDs. So I had like a stack of these in pink cases. Oh, so embarrassing. But I was walking, waiting for somebody to come and say, "Hey, can we see more?" And it was like nobody. It was crickets. So I'll,
So why do you regret it though? Because did it like kill your would have you been drafted if you didn't go?
Had I not went, there was a high chance I would have been drafted, at least by Edmonton.
Okay.
But I think I was exposed a bit for my lack of speed, and which everybody knew. It wasn't like I was ever saying I was a fast player, but I think, and you know what, everything happens for a reason. That's what I think. So it was what it was. Just got me started into the family business earlier than one would have hoped.
You
Did
went
your
for the
pectoral injury heal?
You know what, Struddy? I still deal with it today. I can't sleep on one side because of it. So it's been traumatic. Yeah, more emotionally traumatic. But yeah, so I've told a very I've opened my heart.
Yeah,
Struddy.
right.
Yeah. Now what's up with the ankle?
Let's open your heart.
Well,
here.
mine's a legit injury. So I'll get it down in a nutshell. When we used to play for the Blackhawks, they'd put up the Bulls floor and we could go do it. And so I forget what happened. Let's say we had to go practice at our practice rink, and we came back, and the Bulls court was on. I loved the Bulls growing up, so we went out there to play. So it was 3 players and the assistant coach were playing. Well, I go up and make an amazing shot, but I land on my assistant coach's foot, and I roll my ankle, and right away it's just exploding. And the assistant coach is like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I think I sprained my ankle." He's like, "You can't tell anyone. You can't tell him. We're gonna get in trouble."
Would be big trouble.
Yeah, we're gonna get in trouble. I'm like, I can't even walk, so I have to like limp off the thing. And I go and shower, don't tell anybody. And I remember it was St. Patrick's Day. So they give me, we go to this bar to hang out for a little bit. And I just went there and I asked the guy for a huge bucket. And they filled it with ice and water. I just had my foot in there for the whole, for about 3-4 hours. And I went home, did the same thing. But my ankle was huge. It was huge. We're playing the next day, Dallas. So I go in there, we have a morning skate. I tell my partner, I can't even move my foot. I sprained my ankle. And he looks at it, he's like, "Oh my God." So somehow I get my foot in my boot and I go out there for the morning skate. And I don't know how no one could tell. I barely moved. It was unbelievable. I looked like Dustin Nielsen at a skate, not moving at all. No offense to you, Dusty.
Shots fired.
You know the truth. So anyway, now we get to the nighttime. And I'm like, I can't play on this ankle. It's brutal. So I tell my partner, I said, I'm going to pretend to fall down and get hurt in warm up so that I have to whatever. So I'm wheeling around. Well, not wheeling. I'm barely moving. All of a sudden I go down and I'm like, oh my God. And the trainer's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I think I hurt my ankle." So he's like, "Okay, let's go inside." So we go in there and take it. And he gets my boot off, takes my sock off. He's like, "When did this happen?" I'm like, "It just happened just now."
You're like, cut a rut. The rink guy here doesn't know what he's doing.
It's black and blue. It's huge. He's like, "I'll tape it up." I'm like, "Thank you." So he tapes it. It looks like a mummy. It's so, you would know they tape it so tight.
Oh, God.
I get my foot back in there, and he gives me a Tylenol. He's like, "You should be good to go." I'm like, "What?" And so I played the game. I couldn't even skate. And Mike Madano, remember him just skating around like, "Slow down, Mike. I've got a bad ankle over here." And so I played the rest of the year on this ankle. And it took a whole year for it to heal because I just kept skating. And
you weren't giving it the rest.
I wasn't giving the rest as needed. So
did you go a goal and 2 assists that night plus 7?
I think actually I was even because I remember telling my partner was this guy named Brian Brard. I'm like, "Buddy, I can't skate." He's like, "Kate, just look after the walls in the front of the net." I remember him talking like, "Well, I can do that, but I won't do it very quick." But the trainer's so funny. He's like, "When did this happen?" I'm like, "Just now."
Speaking of Shoggy,
He messaged me an audio thing.
he says,
that I don't know.
He says, "Does this guy ever shut up?"
Who, me?
Yeah.
Shoddy. Why?
He just sent me a 5-second audio thing that I don't know what it is. Okay, I'm going to quickly hear this.
He says he thinks you're getting paid by the word.
Well, that would be nice. That would be nice if I was working.
Oh, he sent me a clip of something you said. I don't know if I could get this.
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Oh.
Yeah, Shoddy's.
He's got to listen to his employees, make sure they're not making him look bad.
Exactly.
Very.
Guys, I am literally now blowing everything. I am loving it.
So he played that, I think, on Monday
Let
as
me
well.
give a little context.
So for those that didn't hear, Struddy says,
Please.
I am literally now blowing
I am literally now blowing everything.
Yeah.
I am loving it. That's
you,
what he
Shogger.
says. So Shoggy's sending us that. Thank you.
The Shogger.
After you actually have only said good things about Shoggy.
I've been very positive.
This
about
has
it.
been very
I
positive.
opened it up for him
Yeah.
to rip his boss, and he's like, "No, he's been great."
No one mentioned the fact that he's going bald. No one's mentioned that he's working out like 5 minutes a day. Like, I'm not bringing that stuff up. It's only positive news. But I will say this. So let me give context about the blowing everything. So I have my wife bought a leaf blower, and I was against it. I didn't want her to.
Was this gas powered or electric?
No, just it's battery. Like
Yeah.
rechargeable. So we get it. She's blowing stuff all over. I'm like, okay, this is whatever. I'm not in love with it. And then I started using it. And man, it makes a difference. Then I use it on dust. And I recently used it on snow when we had that little bit of snow. And so I'm like, guys, I'm loving it. I'm blowing everything to get my hands on it. And, they took it out of context. When you say it like that, it
No
doesn't
way,
sound
not
right.
that.
Yeah. So when you
could
say
they?
it that way, it's not right. So anyways, I do like the leaf blower. And I think I will upgrade to a gas power.
Yeah.
I
You're like
love
my,
it.
you're like my
gas
dad.
power.
My dad got a leaf blower and he was all in love with it. And
That's crazy.
The little amount of snow, he used to
Oh,
go out
out
and
there.
blow it and all
Yeah.
that. And same with the leaves and all that.
You have to get to the snow early, though, right? It won't
You do
blow.
before people track
Yeah,
on it.
yeah.
So you
So,
have to
yeah.
get up and get on the deck before your kids come out and trample
Yeah.
it down, because then it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But if it's a skiff of snow and you can get at it early,
Oh, it's crazy.
Oh,
But yours is gas powered, mounted
Yeah.
on the back.
wow! I got the one that
Oh,
is step
geez.
down, but
Okay.
I would like to get the backpack style. But the only thing is in the summer if you're using it, it's pretty hot,
Yeah, it would be warm.
right?
Yeah.
Leaves and whatnot, grass
Yeah.
clippings. But I too love blowing everything.
Yeah. Yes,
Shredding.
thank you.
Don't
Thank you,
don't.
Jay.
You're not alone.
You guys are just like two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Same name, same hair, love blowing things,
Yeah,
all
right.
of this.
Right, you got it. It takes time, right? That's similar.
It's not always
style.
you get a connection that happens so fast.
Oh, sorry, gotta turn that down.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
So
love it. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad Shogger is tuning in.
He's
Get the
keeping
little-
tabs on you is
Yeah,
what
he
he's
is.
doing.
Yeah, he's.
saying our boss is gone, and I don't think he knows anything's going on and what's happening back here.
He's probably
out
not
in
even up
Niagara.
yet.
We lost internet yesterday, and the guy didn't even realize it, or anything. He doesn't care. He tunes us out. Like yesterday, we had him on the morning show yesterday, and Tommy and Eric, they were up early. They're doing the show. It's 2-hour difference, so Dusty doesn't have to get up early, and he comes on with the boys like, yeah, I was watching First Take. I'm like, oh, thanks for watching your own station. You've launched this whole thing here,
Right.
and you can't even be bothered to throw it on.
Well, they're probably talking a lot of Grey Cup on First Take.
Well, exactly. Yeah. He came on to rip Stephen A. Smith, and we couldn't even listen to you. That's the respect that Dusty gives us.
No, I know. I understand that at this point, having worked with him exclusively for 5 years now. I'm just here to laugh. This is too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Thank
of
you for
good
the
stuff.
Americana, by the way.
You're welcome. I
Is
went
that-
there and the fella said, and by the way, I feel a little violated from the treatment I got this morning at said establishment.
Do tell.
I will. So I went there and I got coffees for the fellas, and I believe I've talked about this before, but one of my big pet peeves, because as you can see, I'm a black iced coffee guy.
Yeah.
Right.
But it doesn't always go with saying that when you order a black iced coffee that it comes black. Sometimes people feel the nerve to put syrup in it, like the
Right.
sweetener.
Oh, the pump.
Yeah.
boy.
So I went and I said, and I always just say politely, just please no syrup. And he's like, yeah, I got it.
Oh, salty.
Yeah. And
Jeez.
I felt a little bit violated. Like I'm a paying customer here and I'm just trying to make sure we're clear, bud. But, it worked out well. He didn't sabotage it.
I will say this. This is why I do love mobile ordering. I don't have to deal with humans.
But they can still screw up.
Yeah.
But I've entered it all in, and I could customize it exactly how I want. And if they screw it up, then they really just screwed it up. It all prints off and tells them what I want, but I can go in and figure it out on my own, and I don't have to get the sass from someone. Computer's not going to give me sass.
It's true.
My phone's not going to give me sass. It's just going to say your order's available in 10 minutes.
Well, that's
Please come
true.
by.
I'm a little bit
That's
more
it.
old school, as you can tell. by
And
my
I don't
hair.
have to wait.
That's true.
You plan it. You order.
I know that's
You
just too
drive
new
there.
aged for me.
You walk in. You grab your stuff. You walk out. Boom.
I guarantee you, my main man Struddy's not an online order guy.
No, I don't.
No.
I never ordered anything on my life. I wonder how many bench presses that guy could do that took your order today.
Probably none. Probably get pinned by the bar. That little tweed.
How much could you do? How many weights was that?
Okay, so 225.
Yeah.
220. How many do you think you could do?
Probably 20 in my
Okay.
time. But I mean, also it was different. I was a bit bigger, right? I was
Long.
230 pounds. Yeah, so it was a lot bigger.
Did you have a combine?
Yeah, so we had it. Well, yeah, when I was in junior, but it was a lot different back then. We just won the Memorial Cup, and we were having a good time, right? And I remember I was 18, and I get a call from our trainer like, "You got to go to Vancouver for a combine." I'm like, "What's a combine?" I didn't even know what it was. So we go down there, and they had made us ride a bike. They did a stretch and then a number of push-ups, and that was it. Then we just came back, flew home. I'm like, "That's it?" And they're like, "That's it." I'm like, "Okay." And then I didn't know what it was for. And someone said it mentioned it was for the draft. And that was it. That's all we did. And we got drafted. So mine wasn't much more impressive.
They
than
didn't give
yours.
you a T-shirt. Like these,
Oh, no.
these guys get hooked up with all this gear now.
Nothing.
Do they? Or do
Yeah.
they have to give it back?
Yeah, there's
No.
Well,
You
they
get
make it give-
you get everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get
Well,
yeah.
just the stories JMO said of the CFL and stuff. It's all like, hey, keep the tag on, tuck it underneath, give it back to me when you're done.
The CFL Combine now is like a pretty
huge.
serious thing because they also do regional combines. So
And then they bring them all together for
and then
the
so
national.
they have 3 regionals, and that allows junior players, like players that aren't in CIS level, or it allows junior players to come out, and it's like a pre-combine.
Oh, that's
so
good.
you get that, and then if you shine there, they'll invite you to the national
Oh, I
combine.
like that. That's a cool idea.
Matt Iwanyk, Jay Milne, Jason Strudwick, Tom Gazzola with you here on the EST Hangout presented by Mott's Clamato. I want to get into the nasty chat. One person saying, I think this is the best EST Hangout I've listened to so far. That's from Calvin. But now I got to go a little negative here because this is from the Got Your Back podcast.
Yes.
Hashtag Rob Brown is better. And is there a way to push the love button but not have it apply to Struddy too?
Wow.
So,
You guys fighting? Is there something we need to know?
Yeah.
did you do something that you're not aware of? Is there?
Just if being great is a problem, then I guess we got a problem.
Wow.
Yeah, Robbie Brown, he's been a good addition to our pod. It's
Great
great to
pickup.
have him. Great to have him.
Yeah.
I was listening to it the other night and
Yeah.
when he came on and did the entire breakdown of the game in like
I
10
know.
seconds. And
He's
Shog was pretty.
He's like you though. He just jumps the gun. Like just give me a little bit of kissing, some cuddling, maybe a drink, before we get going here. Wear those tight jeans. My wife can't keep herself. I'm like, lady, just let me have
wanna
a
warm up?
moment. Yeah, like just let me at least get in the mood.
I mean,
You know?
somebody has to get you in and out of the breaks, and clearly that's Rashog's purpose there.
He's
Just
the gatekeeper.
let the pros do the work.
He's the
which
door
is-
greeter at Walmart. Just
Yeah.
open the door, let us talk, and then close it.
Wears a nice vest with a name tag.
Say something every so often.
Smiles.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys can look and oh, that's nice, Shoggy, and then continue having your guys' conversation.
Good job, Riley. I mean, Ryan.
Hey, is there going to be a big Grey Cup party at the Strudwick house this
You know
weekend?
what? We usually have one, yeah. So we will. My kids were talking about this morning. We really like to do it.
Yeah?
Do you guys have one?
Yeah. We have every second Sunday we have a family dinner. So it falls on this Sunday.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a big, appies and everything.
I do the squares.
Me
Do you
too.
like
Yeah, I
love
do
the
a big squares board.
And I get prizes for the kids. And,
Oh, you actually do a full square board. And
Oh,
stuff.
I love. Yeah, well, obviously,
Like for
put money
you
in.
guys.
Yeah, so then everyone can put their name in. Then I buy like kind of weird prizes. Like one year I bought windshield wiper fluid, and one of the kids won it. They're just like, what the fuck? I'm like, hey, your dad's gonna be having that. They're just like, what is this? I'm like, just take it home. He'll love it.
That's when you get
Get
your.
up to minus 45.
Why was my house egged?
You know what? You don't know how much you'll like it till you get older. But I always like random things like candles. I like the candles. You get the nice ones
are
that
great.
smell.
Oh,
of.
yeah.
But again, when you're 10, it's like, what is this? Like,
What is
it's
this
a candle.
BS?
Use this candle, right?
I have a question for you guys' Grey Cup parties. Like, favorite snack to have there?
See,
Like, I love the
Grey
surprise
Cup
dip.
thing? Because everyone has their thing for Super Bowl. Is there a standard for Grey Cup?
Well,
or
I
is it
don't
just
know. That's why
whatever?
I'm asking. And if it's a staple in both households, like what are go-to? Like, there's got to be wings, obviously.
Yeah.
Ranch, no blue cheese. We had this discussion earlier today on the Nielsen show.
Yeah. It was close.
Yeah.
The Twitter poll was pretty close.
They went with blue cheese.
Blue
got
cheese
that
was
many
stronger
votes?
than you would think.
Oh, it's such a weird flavor.
I bet you, Struddy. I bet you'd be down with little, like not a heavy blue cheese,
Yeah.
but like a miniature
Yeah.
blue cheese, dressing.
I do like blue cheese over the ranch, but I will say this. I don't like to use any white sauces. I'm an anti-white sauce.
Whoa, Alfredo?
Anything. Out. I just can't take it.
What?
Mayonnaise, anything like that. I don't believe
This
in
is
it.
egregious.
So I know this is probably taking a weird turn right now.
No,
Tom,
but we're talking about like the culinary arts of a Grey Cup weekend.
From the
Yeah.
guy
So
who's
this is
blowing everything all over the place.
right?
You know?
No, it's awesome.
Jeez.
I want to blow up this party. I'll tell you that right
Yeah,
now.
hey now.
No, so what I like, it's chips and dip. You have to have chips
Yeah,
and dip.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if you're going salsa and chip or you're going.
Well, the
some kind of
nachos,
a-
You know,
I
you know
think
what's
it's
nice?
standard.
You know what's nice, and it's underrated, is a classic ripple chip with a French onion dip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the
Underrated.
old Dutch, lightly salted, with the hell of a good French onion dip.
I'm not a hell of a.
elite.
I'm not a hell
Elite.
Yeah, the hell of a good French onion I'll go with, but the hell of a good original I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
I think I was just over inserted into it when it first came out. Big Ukrainian thing.
Really?
Hell of a good. Yeah. A lot of
I'm a
Ukis.
Ukrainian. I've never had, I was exposed to it by the holes.
Well, then you're not a
By
real
Lieutenant Eric.
Ukrainian. Sorry.
Well, I'm 50% Ukrainian.
Apparently not. Strudwick said.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm not sure. I've heard him talk about. Well, you pick your soccer team based on your.
I'm an Italian, Ukrainian, Canadian soccer fan.
Yeah, so you
100%.
basically cover most of the teams in the World Cup.
No.
Eh?
Well, no, Italy has to make the World Cup for me to go there. Actually, they're for the
Ouch.
Euros. They're in the same. Italy and Ukraine are in the same group, and one of them's
really?
going to be knocked out.
So who you train for in that situation? Which
I think Ukraine will have the better time to go through the playoff to get in. So I hope Italy beats Ukraine, so Italy goes in. I don't have to deal with the playoff again, and Italy get knocked out again, and I'm just miserable.
Jeez, you got a lot going on.
I know.
God.
But then we got Canada today. Canada, Jamaica.
Yeah.
Big 2-match.
Yeah.
CONCACAF Nations League. Big game.
Big game, and it's not televised.
Well, it's on One Soccer.
Right, but it's not broadcast on-
Because One Soccer has
Sportsnet
the
or
rights
TSN.
and TSN Sportsnet didn't purchase the rights ever. And the way to grow the game in Canada is to have a subscription service that no one knows about.
But that's an indictment of Canada soccer, which we talked
I know.
about with
It's on
Brendan
all of that.
Dunlop. Like they're
100%.
a mess. They're a mess.
And it's when the World Cup qualifying happened. Like I had been talking about that whole thing leading up to it for quite a few months. A lot of people weren't paying attention to it, rightfully so, because what's Canada soccer done men's wise for the longest time?
Nothing.
But going into that, like I was getting frustrated that like CBC, no one was getting a sublet deal. And it wasn't until the day before the first World Cup qualifying game until they finally were Sports Networked out a deal to get them. But it was like very close. Those World Cup qualifiers weren't going to be on TV at all. And it was just going to be a huge missed opportunity for this country. But thankfully they were there. But now they're not again. So we'll see. Because what happens is if Canada could do well in these next two games, they're in what's called Copa America. And that's like the Euros, but of South America. And next summer, that's a huge competition for this nation. If we're trying to, we won't qualify for the 2026 World Cup through qualifiers. We'll just be right in. So there's no games beforehand. So to be prepared, we're going to need to be in Copa America next year. You'll be potentially going up against Brazil or Argentina or Uruguay. Good soccer. And also as fans, we get patio beers. Mm-hmm. That's the key of soccer. This is what we missed last World Cup. We didn't go sit outside, enjoy some beers, and watch soccer.
You a big soccer guy, Struddy?
I get into it around those big moments.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Olympics,
Me too.
World Cup. Like I'm not.
I'm in an
gonna-
arm's length.
Yeah, it's like baseball. We get to the playoffs, I'm in. Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
A little bit more.
But that's the thing. Like, why is it that hockey players do the soccer volley thing in the before games?
It's very Euro. I think that came in when the
Okay.
Euros came in. That's a very European thing. And the guys just like it. It kind of, because there's a lot of time before a game. 2 hours before a game you get there. Like, there's only so much stretching you can do, right? So that kills 15, 20 minutes when the guys play a game like that.
When you played in Chicago, like you told the story about the apparent ankle injury on the Chicago Bulls hardwood.
Yeah.
Is there, because obviously in Edmonton there's no NBA team.
Yeah.
But would you hang with the guys on the Bulls, or was there camaraderie?
No, we never ran into the Bulls, like rarely. But you would, when I played the Rangers, we shared a space with a practice facility with the Knicks. So you'd see those guys all the time. Then there was an amazing kitchen. Like the Rangers were decades in front of everybody else as far as preparing meals for the guys. And so the Knicks and Rangers and everyone who worked there, we could all go eat at this cafeteria, and the food was incredible. So you'd see them there all the time. And they were nice guys. Like, Isaiah Thomas was there and say hi to him a bit. Like they were okay, right?
Did they think they were better than you?
Yeah, I probably. I mean, they did. Let's just be honest. But they were like Malik Rose. I remember he was there. Amazing guy. Then there were some other guys who were a little bit harder to appreciate, but Yeah, whatever. I mean, you kind of just whatever figure it out because there's only 12 of them, right? There was 25 of you, so what are you gonna do?
You could take them.
We could have, yeah. Well, just by sheer numbers, they were.
That's my
bigger.
point.
Yeah,
So
like,
you
it would
could.
just
You've
be-
got the advantage there.
Yeah, just wear them down with numbers. Right?
Yeah.
The first couple of people in the fray were going to get a beat down, but
Yes.
the next group might be
So and that's where like someone like you hold back because you know what you're doing.
right.
Deal with
Yeah.
it after.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get them at lesser, and you can
Yeah.
take them out, and you guys got this.
Well, there was a time where this one guy, I can't remember his name. They all had these amazing cars, like just jacked up, like just so crazy. And I was driving like a little
Camry.
shitbox. Yeah, it was that bad because I just borrowed a car from a used car lot, and I'd give the guy tickets. So anyway, so this guy, I forget who was parking right in front of the doors all the time. He couldn't be bothered, and it was like a Phantom, Rolls Royce Phantom or something. And so Sean Avery's like, he's like, I'm gonna like whatever, if I throw my coffee on there. This guy parks there again. So our trainers tell their trainers not to park it. Sure enough, next day in there, so Avery throws his coffee on the front hood of this Phantom. And so they find out and they're pissed. Like this guy, I can't remember his name, but he's pissed. He's coming down. So we actually HR had to come visit both teams about how to interact in a workplace. And but needless to say, the guy never parked his car there.
Oh, no?
No, I can't. He was a center. He played with the Bulls and he went there too.
That's a full win for you guys.
Yeah, it was. But he would park it literally like if the doors were like right in front, he'd park right in front of the doors. Like
Struddy, this
across
is New York or Chicago?
the Rangers.
So
Yeah.
he played with the Bulls, then went to the Knicks.
Yeah, he was a big center. He had a lot of money problems. Kind of chubby. Not Curry. I have to think of his name, but anyways, yeah, he parked right in front, and Avery just stopped it.
And you were driving to MSG as well?
Yeah, so I lived in the city.
Yeah.
And when I was living in the city, I didn't want to have a car, but
I wouldn't either there.
But our practice facility was in Terrytown,
Oh,
45
yeah.
minutes north of New York. So what would happen is that you'd usually carpool, right, with a couple. So my buddy was Steve Ruchin, so we'd drive and we'd alternate driving. We should just had one car and just driven it all the time, but we both had a car. So, but I didn't want to bring my truck down there, or my whatever I had, and so I asked the team like, "Hey, does someone have a car deal?" They're like, "Well, not really, but my buddy has a used car lot, and he'd probably give you a car to use when you were why it's not selling, and give him tickets." And I'm like, "Sure." So the first car I had was a Ford Escape. And I was driving this Ford Escape, and the first day I got to the rink, the practice rink, I didn't have my key card yet, so I rang the bell, and the guy's like, "Hello, how can I help you?" I'm like, "I'm here for the Rangers practice." He's like, "Well, fan parking's in front of me." Actually, I played for the team, and they're like, "No, we don't think so." And so they had to go get the PR guy, and he had to validate to say it was okay. This guy is like,
This guy actually
yeah,
plays for this team.
and the guy's like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Strudwick." Like, no problem. And I just drove in and parked like so far away from everybody else because there's like Mercedes and all these amazing trucks.
You were basically, they put you in a slot that's like right outside fan parking. You were in that corner where fan parking
I
is
was
right across
parking
the...
beside the Zamboni
Yeah,
driver.
yeah.
That's where I was. It was so funny.
my
Oh, I'm sorry,
God.
Mr. Strudwick. No problem. No problem. It's okay.
You may as well park in fan parking.
Is that a thing though? I would imagine like that takes quite a bit of, I would say, confidence to do something like that, where you don't give a what car you're driving
Yeah.
to while you're here in New York for
it
however
wasn't
long.
I still don't care about stuff like the car I drive or house. I did nothing like that really. It's just not.
Yeah.
My parents weren't like that, and I'm not like that. And I have friends that are into it. And guys I played with, like, look at this new suit or this watch. I'm like, I just didn't care. Like, I loved playing hockey. I just loved, like, what I miss is just that knowing I'm going to go to a game and make you have a bad day. Like, that's what I loved. I loved when I could look across and just say, this guy's having a bad day because of me. Like, I love that, right? And like, I see the guys now, they all wear those fancy suits. That's great. Like, it's just not me. It's not who I am. Like, yeah. Am I good looking? Yes, I'm very good looking. So if I would have worn nice clothes, might have been like Henrik Lundqvist. But I didn't need that. It wasn't.
Who knows
my
where
thing.
you would be now?
Well, I mean, yeah,
it wouldn't be the Hangout.
It probably
No,
wouldn't be
Hall of
here,
Fame.
sitting
Hall of
beside
Fame.
me.
Yeah. But I just, it wasn't for me. It didn't excite me, right? But I just feel I just wanted to go there and look like I was all business. I was just there to just make you have a bad day. And that's what I love. And when I coach young kids, I tell them, like, make the other team have a bad day. That's when you know you're having a good day.
See, and I asked this about Gager once, and we had Aaron Grimes on defensively.
Oh, yeah.
What did you enjoy more? Having the crowd cheer you on or like erupt for whatever reason?
Yeah.
Or shutting up the visiting crowd if you went away?
Oh, there's nothing better than going to a visiting building and just like having your way with them. Like I loved it. I love that feeling because it kind of felt like, not to get too dramatic, but like you're going in to invade another country and you're like, I'm going to take this place over. And so I took more pride in showing up on the road than I did at home, because everyone can show up at home. Everyone can play, be Johnny Tough Nuts at home and like show what you can do. But you go into someone else's house and you make yourself really comfortable. Like I love that. I love that fact of just, that was the best feeling, because they're like, what is this guy doing? Yeah, I'm coming to wreck your house. I love that feeling. So I think that's people should have it the other way around, right?
I feel like that's a standard with. I'm feeling again that with a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
It's just more enjoying of I'm going to make you miserable.
That's right.
I love that.
But then some people do it with offense, right? Then you have guys like Connor McDavid, who's they want to make you have a bad day because they're abusing you offensively, right?
But do you think he likes scoring and shutting up the crowd on the road, or does he like scoring at home and getting that crowd going?
It's probably different for an offensive player.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean,
different roles, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Connor seems pretty emotionally steady, as it is. Very rarely does he, but it is really
What about Leon then?
awesome to see that when he does.
I feel like Leon has that
Okay, so they're going on a
prickliness to him.
They're
that
starting
he'd
to-
love to score that goal early in a game on the road to shut the crowd up.
Yeah, you do have an effect when you do that, right? It's like when I used to get into fights. Like I loved fighting on the road because it was like I'm in front of all these people. I'm taking on your champion, and I'm going to try to fight you. And then sometimes you'd win, sometimes be a draw. But it's like I took on your guy in front of all of you, and I didn't care. And I like there still is the mental part of that, right? And then your team sees that you're taking on their champion in another team's building. They're like, oh, geez, like, okay, that's a good feeling, right? For them, and comforting.
should have been a sports psychologist.
Yeah, well, I had my own issues trying to sort out my own problem. But I think everyone, you just find your rhythm, right? Like as an athlete, you just find what works for you. And it would be different for every athlete that, played any kind of high level, whether it was, junior or college or professionally. Like you have to find your advantage in ways that get motivated. Like Michael Jordan, the way he would create drama in his mind, what someone else had said. And the guy would be like, what do you say? I never said that, but he would get himself pumped up on that level, right? And I think that's, as an athlete, you got to find ways to motivate yourself.
You mentioned a player that I want to get to, Henrik Lundqvist. Goes into the Hall this week.
Yeah.
Any good stories you have?
Yeah.
And like that's beyond deserving that he goes to the Hall,
yeah.
but it's got to have been fun watching your buddy make it to the Hall.
Probably the best looking person to ever go into the Hall of Fame.
He's up there, man.
That guy.
Those
I don't know
Swedes
who
are
would
pretty-
be up there. Like who else would? Like right off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to say yes.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's up there.
I think that, generally speaking, Swedish men aren't very good looking and their women are exceptionally beautiful. But every now and then you get a couple good looking Swedes that fall through the cracks, right? It's like the on the edge of it all. So he's an anomaly as far as how good looking he is as a male Swedish person. And then, as a player, he was incredible. I remember we went to training camp and Kevin Weeks was going to be our goalie. And, you go to a couple practices, like, who is this guy? I've never even heard of him. Not that I was an expert, but like, I don't even know who this guy is. Who is this guy? And then we play a couple exhibition games. And he does pretty well. Like, this guy might be legit. Then he get into the regular season. And he just took the job from Kevin Weeks, just took it over. And he was incredible. Then that year they went to the Olympics with Sweden. He won gold there. And he went away. After the Olympics, they went back to Sweden to celebrate, and he came home and he was never the same. He was just a disaster, tired, worn down. Because you think about the year before, previously, maybe they play 40, 50 games generously, in that league. And then he comes to the NHL and you're playing 82 plus the Olympics, plus exhibition, plus everything being and he was terrible after that. And we just skidded in on the playoffs. He was the reason we were getting the playoffs, and we just skidded in and we got eliminated like so quickly in the playoffs. It was like, I think a 7-game series, we're out in 2. We're good. See you guys later.
What was you talked about fighting, and I'm sure this is probably a redundant question for you, but what was the biggest moment of getting because it kind of happens on the
Yeah.
drop of a hat.
Yeah, it's not often premeditated. Sometimes you have a grudge and I'm going to get this guy. But I remember I was in, when I first started, I was not a fighter, and I never wanted to be, but I had to learn the skill to just continue moving down the line. So I think it was my first year in the minors, and I was fighting lots. I'm losing. Like I think I had 23 fights, and I think I lost all of them except for a tie against. I think it was one of those hobbits from Lord of the Rings. I got a tie. But anyway, so we're taking warm up, and where we played in Worcester. The visitors had to come through your zone to get out, right? There's only one door in and out. It was in our zone. So it was myself and this other guy, Jason Wimmer, skating around at the end of warm-up. I like to be the last guy off the ice, just kind of like sweeping. So there's this huge guy, and he played in the NHL. His name was Eric Cairns. Huge guy.
Oh, yeah.
Really tough. He's skating off the ice, and just before he gets to the door, he shoots a puck in our net, and I just snap. So I run and get the puck. I pull it out, and he's walking down the hallway. I take the hardest slap shot I can and hit him in the back of the leg. And it was like shooting a dart at a grizzly bear. He turns around, he's like, what the fuck? Like, he's just losing. He's like, you're dead. I'm like, come and get it. Come and get it. And you're just mad. And then he skates around like, oh my God, what did I do? So I'm just like, oh my God. And Whitmer comes over. He's like, what did you do? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it was good. I don't think it was good. So anyway, so we wait, or I wait forever. Like, till,
That was the longest intermission.
Yeah, to make sure he gets off the ice, because I don't want to fight him in the hallway. So I wait like 5 minutes just standing at the door. And then finally I walk down. I have to walk by their room, and they're like, I'm going to kill that Strudwick. I'm going to kill him. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. So I get in the dressing room, and Whitmer's beside me. He's like, hey man, like, he's pretty tough. I'm like, he's like, it's going to be okay. You're both D-men. There's rarely a chance where you two hook up. A D-men fighting team. Like, you're right. Okay, let's calm down. Everything's okay. And like 2 seconds later, our head coach walks in. He's like, Struddy, you're playing left wing. One of our guys can't play left. Not tonight. And so we go out there, and I'm skating around, and I'm on the first line. I don't know what's going on. It's like everything is conspiring against me. So I'm out there wheeling around, and I can just see him staring at me. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's going to kill me. So we miss, I'm changing strategically. Like, he goes on, I come off. He goes off, I go on. Like, I'm wheeling and dealing. Finally, like halfway through the first period, there's a confrontation. Like, let's go. I'm like, yeah, let's go. So like, we drop the gloves, and he strings me out, and he's absolutely wailing away on me. I'm like, oh my God, please God, not tonight. Right? And he's hammering, and finally the fight is over. And I'm alive. So I go in the box, and he's like, we're going out like tonight. We're fighting 3 times. Like, come and get it. Come and, like, I'm just yelling at him. Like, I'm like, oh my God. He's like, you're dead. I'm like, yeah, come and get it, you, whatever. So I take my helmet off, and the top of my helmet's cracked. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's gonna kill me. So now we're sitting there, and I'm starting to calm down. Or I'm done crapping my pants. He's like, hey, Struddy. I'm like, what's up? And all tough nuts. He's like, bad news, hurt my hand, we can't fight anymore. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And I was like so happy, but I was like, yes! Yeah, it was like you're getting like a stay of execution, right, on the Green Mile.
And that's when you really double down on it. Yeah, you bet.
That's
You're
what I go
lucky.
with it. Oh, how convenient for you. I'm sure it is.
It was crazy. I've never been so scared. And that was the worst decision I ever made. And
I like how there's no turning back, though. It's just still just all in on it.
Oh, you can't.
In your mind,
psychology.
it's no.
You can't give
like,
in.
No, but outside of your mouth, like, let's go.
Well, there's nothing you can't, because you can't show weakness, right? Like, same thing when I fought George LaRock, like the toughest guy. It was my second year in the minors and his first, and he'd beat up everyone. We had a really tough team, beat up everyone. So the guys before the game, like, hey, he's got a glass jaw. Just have to hit him once and he'll go down. I'm like, yeah, for sure. I got this. So I go out there and cause a scene with this guy, Ralph Internu. I'm like, slash him, like, big nose, you're dead, or whatever. And George's like, hey, let's go. And Ralph's like, you're dead, Strudwick. I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm going to kick this guy's ass. And like, my gloves barely came off my hand, and he had me hold me. I'm like, oh God, Ralph, you're right. And this guy is just absolutely hammering away. And I'm like bobbing and weaving like Michael Jackson, trying to get out of it. I turn my head away, and my helmet flies off, and he's pounding the back of my head. And I'm like, and every now and then I turn around like, are you done? Not okay. When you're done, let me know. And he just absolutely wails away on me. So it was near the end of the period, so I had to go off, and I skate off, the skate of shame, and I get into the dressing room, just sitting there like, oh my God. Then the guys come in and tell you like, oh, it's, a good fight. I'm like, it wasn't a good, did you watch it?
Were you watching
Like,
this?
I got destroyed. So now it's like 15 minutes later, now it's time to go back out. And I tried to put my helmet on, but I have so many bruises. Like, we used to call them Barney Rebels. I can't even get my helmet on. So basically they take like a garbage can lid and just like put a piece of tape underneath my chin, like, go get him, Tiger. You got it, big guy. And I went out there and skated. And after that, I never fought George again. I was like, it's like a man fighting a kid. Like, it's like if I went and beat up a grade 8er today in school and just wailed away on him like that, it was unfair. So scary. That was scary. Scary stuff.
You had to have earned some respect, though, from the fellas.
I don't know. I don't feel like a beating. I mean, you always say the right thing. Hey, great fight.
Yeah.
Way to show up. And you're like, oh, that guy got his ass kicked.
Is that what's happening really behind the scenes? Is everyone's like, ooh, that was a tough one.
That's a bad choice, big guy. That's a bad choice. No, you do. The guys do appreciate it, but no, when it's so one-sided, like, but you got to think about it. I was probably 220 pounds. He was probably 250, and a man. Like, he was a man, right? If I'd fought him later, maybe I could have held on a little bit better, but he was just so strong.
What did Ralph Intranuvo do to you that you guys?
Nothing. He was just there. And nothing against the people listening that have huge noses, but there's two things I don't like: huge noses and guys that have handlebar mustaches. And I don't know. Again, sorry for those of you that have those two things, but it really bothers me. So
There
Ralph,
goes the EST audience. Though.
Yeah,
we just lost a little bit.
Yeah.
Lost their numbers, a
like
couple of
flies.
drops.
no, I would fight. I'd go out of my way to fight guys that had handlebar mustaches.
Didn't Ralph Intranuvo wear number 9 for the Oilers? Like, he's the second best player to wear number 9 for the Oilers.
Yeah, he was a good, skilled little player.
Yeah.
Like probably out of his era, right? Like maybe if you came in now, because he was a hard worker, really skilled, but he did nothing. You're trying to stir up some crap, right? Some turd.
I love how you brought up Ralph Intranuvo.
Yeah, probably some people wearing their jersey right now. Listen to the show.
Gager probably has great stories about Ralph Intranuvo.
Oh yeah, Gager. He would join those. He'd be the same.
Did you ever play up against Gager?
Oh, we love playing against Gager. Gager, he was like, what do we call him? The slump buster. Like you're going to find your way. And no, I'm going to tell you a story and he'll deny it. But the first time I played against Joaquin Gage, they said, hey guys, you have to be, just so you know, Gager needs glasses and he can't see the distance. And so our coach told us that. So we were shooting from outside the blue line and it looked like he was a clown trying to juggle these things as it was coming in. And he'll deny it. I can hear him right now. Oh, Struddy, you're such an asshole. I'm like, buddy, you know it's true. Girl, you know it's true. And it was. And so we shoot from distance. And he'll deny it, but we all know the truth, Gager.
That was his kryptonite, was the distance shot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he'll tell you it was just a shot.
Well, the worst part is like he'd go to grab it here and it hit his shoulder. He'd be like, oh, geez, what? Did you see that?
What was
Gager?
that?
Yeah.
What a
There's
tip.
nothing worse than that. Like you go to punch it with your blocker
tip.
and it hits your glove. You're like, what the hell just happened, right? But that was Gager. And Gager, I know he's going to chirp me because he doesn't like it, but the truth is there. It'll set you free. It's true.
Oh, I am so sad. We have to wait till next week to see Gager.
I'm so glad I sat in for this today.
It's true.
Well, we'll definitely have to clip that and put it out there.
Clip it.
Yeah,
Let
I'm
the-
sure Gager's going to love
Let
that
the big
one.
fella, reply.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to have his time.
He's gonna
He'll
have to
get
have his
moment
say.
where he gets to his rebuttal.
Yeah.
He'll have his rebuttal.
Eye for an eye. Makes the
Yeah,
world
we'll see
blind.
what he has to say at some point. Then I'm just waiting for the text or something at some point now from Gager to say that that's not true. That's
No,
not
it's
true.
true.
It's
I've
Sounded
seen
like it came from his mouth, so it
I've
must
seen
be.
it. Yeah. It's
Struddy
true.
doesn't lie.
Not when it comes to that. It was
Only
like,
when it comes to the ankle.
It was it. Open your eyes. You'll have a better chance. Like he was. Yeah.
The
Tough.
slump bust.
Oh, we love playing against him. It was a treat. Point night tonight, boys. For me, it was plus night. Plus night tonight, guys. We're playing Joaquin Gage.
This is the EST Hangout. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Jason Strudwick, Jay Milne with you here. Presented by Mott's Clamato, Caesar. I don't really want to get back to the Oilers, but should we?
Well, Jay came off the top rope.
I know,
yeah,
he
right
came-
off the hop.
But we
Right
quickly were able
Yeah.
to transition away for a little bit.
Somebody's got to steer this friggin' ship.
Well, that was a little early. It's just the thing is like
It was
Right
in my
in.
notes. I make
It's-
notes.
Do you?
I'm a notes guy.
Oh, yeah, I like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I know.
Like I got to.
Should have
Wanna
seen him
learn.
at the draft a week and a half ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did well.
Actually, we could quickly mention our draft for next week, and let's do that for Movers and Shakers. Brought to you by the Marco and Mike Realty One Group Insider. Let Marco and Mike earn your trust if you're buying or selling a home. They're the guys to do it with. MarcoMike.com for more information. Do you like Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, I do. I don't watch it enough.
Because we're doing a Saturday Night Live draft next week.
Oh, really?
You got to draft your episode. So it's a host. I'm slowly working this out, still finalizing for next week. But a host, a musical guest, a few cast cast members, a couple of skits, weekend update host, weekend update guest.
Right.
Do you know how they have always?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to bring one of those in. Guest
it.
cameo. I don't know what else I'm missing from that.
It's gonna be a deep one. I mean,
Yeah.
Are
there's-
you ready for that?
No, and that should come as no surprise to anybody.
You got a
Isn't
week
Lieutenant
away.
Eric not a big?
He doesn't watch.
He's never
it,
watched
Okay,
SNL.
but he's in.
Okay, but I mean
He's doing
that
it.
might favor him because then he'll just look
think-
at the lists that you'll find online and he'll just choose the top
maybe.
ones. I mean, if you said you're not the hugest SNL
Yeah.
guy, but there was a time probably a few years ago. I mean, I think it's pilfered out a bit, like where it's not what as it used to be
Yeah.
back in the heyday of SNL.
Yeah.
Right? But number one, not character, like
Yeah.
actor.
I wasn't Eddie Murphy on there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'd probably be my. He's so talented.
Yeah, he was
right?
on there in the 80s, I think.
So
Yeah, that
talented.
makes sense.
He would be up there. I like Jimmy Fallon was good. Like there was a lot of good ones, but
I had an issue with Jimmy Fallon. He laughed too much. He broke too much.
I kind of like that. I know you don't like that. What's that? They punching through the fifth wall. Right?
Yeah,
They
I
call it.
don't
Fourth
mind it
wall, fourth wall.
occasionally.
Yeah,
But it seemed
yeah.
like he always kept laughing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I
but
just
it
I was
kind of
like,
is
well,
endearing, right? Because it's like he when he can't control himself, like then we should be laughing too, right?
And it was
like
funny
that.
to see them break.
Yeah, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
well,
kind
there's
of
the Lindsay Lohan
comedic.
one. That is a big one. It was Debbie the Downer or something like that. Something
Debbie
along those
Downer.
lines. Debbie Downer.
Yeah.
They were like Disneyland or something, and they all broke in that one. That one was
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
But that's just every skit.
yeah. No,
That's
I
where I
hear
have the issue. Like, and I feel like Jimmy Fallon was almost most skits.
you. Yeah,
I don't know. That's just me.
I thought
a
it was
different era.
like really noticeable when you'd find people, because obviously it's all scripted and they're reading off of
Yeah.
prompters, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But you'd have some that were better than others at handling that. Like
Right.
there was some people they'd
Right.
be looking this way to camera, like it was actually in some instances quite terrible acting, to be honest. It was just a storyline and the people saying the words that made
Yeah.
it funny, but acting genius, probably not as much. But
Does anyone remember the Gretzky one? Because I've never seen it.
I think I watched it.
I remember the Wayne's World clip where he was on. It wasn't like earth shatteringly.
Yeah.
I could see Wayne not really wanting to do it, but doing it for the sake of hockey too.
Yeah,
Well, you do that. It's a big deal. Like when you get a say you hosted Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I didn't even care about like that. Even like I wouldn't really want to be an actor, but if Lauren Michaels was on the phone and said, "Hey, for some reason we're calling an Edmonton sports talk person to come
Right.
do this," I'm gonna say yeah because you got to say I hosted Saturday Night Live. That's kind of really still
Yeah.
cool. Even though you bomb it, you hosted Saturday Night Live. It's iconic.
That'd be sweet.
well, he'd say, "Is Dusty available?"
Boom.
Actually, I think Dusty would be pretty good at that.
Yeah, he would
think
be
he
fine.
could.
He'd be fine.
Creative
He'd
guy.
smile his way through
Yeah.
it.
I think he could read off a
Laughable,
script
lovable
well
character.
enough.
Yeah,
I guess he's doing TV this weekend.
Radio. Well, yeah, he's doing Saturday,
He's doing Great
CFL
Cup Saturday,
Saturday.
where he's hosting
yeah.
a TV show that's a little different, and he's like he can't like even slouch over. He's got to stand up tall, and
comb his hair.
He's dressing a lot better.
He's wearing dress shirts,
Yeah,
like
he
collared
looks-
shirts.
he looks
well, he's
really
dressing
nice.
shirts like on TV or just
On
on
TV.
here.
Well, I haven't noticed. Well, yeah, I've seen it here, but I think as far as his collages he's putting together for the games, he looks really sharp. He's really picked it up before.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
used to be buttons askew and a tie over here. Like he's really, I think he looks really nice. He's done a really good job.
He's doing the best with what he's got to work with.
Yeah, I mean, he's no one's going to mistake him for a model, but
He's not one of us.
yeah,
right, Struddy?
no, we know that. Yeah, no.
First,
That-
people don't understand.
In the was it playoffs last year when we were doing the show from my place and you
Yeah.
brought? Did you wear Shona's pants those
Oh
that
my
day?
God, yeah,
those
that
are
was-
those pants ripped, right?
Showing
They
us?
rip.
What?
Shona's
That's my
his
wife. Yeah. So
Oh.
I just grabbed a pair of pants out, and I thought they were the ones that had to change because I was going to the game, and I couldn't get them on. They were so tight. So I don't know if my wife was having an affair and someone left their pants in there, or they're my kids' pants or my wife's. But I wore them, but they were so tight. Like you want to talk about like I don't know if it was a moose knuckle, camel toe, or like elephant ear. Like it was all of them like wrapped up in one, and there was no secrets, like none at all. Luckily, it was cold in there.
The next day, he's like, I see him. I'm like, how'd it go? He's like, well, I had to throw them out. They repped immediately, and
it
I was
could-
like, oh.
Or even Gene is like, "Ooh, boy, your pants are tight." And I couldn't really sit properly. I kind of had like that Kramer episode. I kind of had to lean against my
Yeah.
chair, and Gene's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, my pants. Look at these." He's like, "Oh, geez." You know, Gene's so put together, right? He's
Yeah.
like, "This guy, what's your name again?" Like, scratch his name off the list.
He's done. He's done.
We've had Gene a couple of times on the Hangout. He's
Oh,
been
great guy.
He's just the best.
That's a great guy.
How's it working with Stoff on those things?
Good. Yeah, Bob is like he comes in hot, right? And he's there's things he wants to talk about or whatever. Pretty emotional, actually. You know, he wants the team to do well. I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's in everyone, all of it. I think all of our collective interests if the team is doing well. But yeah, I like him, and he gives and takes a little bit. You know, behind the scenes, trying to figure out what we're going to talk about, and he does a really good job of identifying what I should talk about, what he should talk about. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I'm still mad at him for not doing more for the Golden Bears football rankings.
What did he have to do with those?
He didn't fight harder. I didn't see him complain once.
Looks like it didn't matter.
Well, they beat the Huskies.
They did. Did you? So this is funny because you probably don't know about this. So the Golden Bears football beat the University of Saskatchewan Huskies twice, home and away.
Yeah.
And the second time they beat them, the rankings came out the following week.
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, and the Huskies were still ranked higher than the Golden
Really?
Bears.
Also, the Bears had one less loss overall even.
Right.
They had
So
2
who does
losses.
that?
The Huskies had 3 losses. Huskies lost to the Bears twice, and the Huskies were ranked higher than the Bears.
Who's doing that? The coaches ranking, or who does?
That's media.
And then Doug McLean was explaining it, and he said the way the system is pretty skewed that it doesn't give a true representation.
Well, there's an
what the
added
ranking-
part of
Clearly.
the rankings
Well, yeah.
is
Clearly.
a legacy thing.
Legacy.
They put a
yeah,
legacy
that's right.
thing.
Really?
But Bob didn't. I didn't hear Bob complain once. I didn't hear Bob complain, like getting mad once about that. And I'm disappointed in Mr. U of A for not doing more at that time. I'm going to say that. I'm disappointed in Bob.
Wow.
He's supposed to be Mr. U of A.
probably
And I don't
focused on
feel like
other
he
things.
did enough on that one.
I have a question
Sorry, Bob.
for Jay.
Sorry.
I have a question for Jay. It is in regard to Bob and his time at the U of A, his 14 years spent as a student
SID.
Now, he says SID, and I know that's generally a American term. Was it called the SID at U of A back in the day?
Bob's position?
Yeah.
I knew Bob as he was just the radio guy.
Right.
Like he was doing all the broadcasts.
But like the comms guy, would that be known as the SID? Or is the true term?
Well, I think
Formal
when he
term.
was there, he was SID.
It was
I
SID?
think that was
Okay.
his title.
Because I always like I remember going down, and especially in Oklahoma, the SID for the Sooners. She also helped out with the OKC Barons. She's like, I'm the SID. And then who was it that was with the U of A? Gooch. Yeah, his title was different, and it was Bob's old job, but it wasn't. He wasn't SID.
Might be a changed in between
Okay,
at some
anyway.
point. I think Bob actually was the SID. at the time.
Okay. I was just
Or maybe he.
because I'd be like
he's
because
a
I know
Bama.
Bob likes to pander to other American.
Well, he's an
colleagues.
Alabama fan.
He's a Bama fan. And it's
Roll
like,
Tide.
how about that? Like, you like the teams that win, do you? Stuff? Hopping on the bandwagon. But that's just me kind of chastising him.
I don't think he did jump on the Bama bandwagon.
I think he did.
No, I don't. I'll have to find out when he started.
I
cheering
was
for
there in
Bama.
Phoenix when
No,
we
no, no, I
landed,
know.
and
No,
it
I
was
know.
the national championship.
And he didn't
we're
wanna
like,
go
"Stop.
see."
You can get a ticket for $100. It's literally right across the street. He's like, I don't think I want to go. And then Jack convinced him to go. And Bama won it that day.
But I think he cheered like Bama when Nick Saban got there. They turned the program back around to being good. Historically, they were good prior.
Yeah.
But there was a stretch where they were bad, and I think he would have been a fan during that time. I don't think he jumped on board like the Nick Saban era. That's my I think he's been around as a Roll Tide Bama fan for a while.
Part of me thinks that Bob just hopped on when things started getting sweet for Bama. But I could be wrong.
He's a wealth of knowledge, hey?
He's an encyclopedia.
It's incredible.
It's
It is
amazing.
It's very impressive.
Like, hey, Bob, who was the second round first pick in the 1983 NHL entry draft? And he'll tell you.
I just don't know
And
how
give
you
you
can
a
do that.
synopsis of that player. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Full
like,
points
what?
breakdown,
That's pretty
What?
incredible.
How?
career stats.
Yeah.
Did you guys know my buddy Struddy was a Swiftie?
You're a Swiftie?
I do. I like together.
Yeah. You know how I know that?
How's that?
You stalked his.
Your
Oh
bracelet.
yeah, no, I know my daughter. She makes all these bracelets up.
It's a Swiftie
What does that
thing.
have to do with Swift?
Well, you make these bracelets and then you kind of put words on it and then you.
I think that happened before Taylor Swift. No,
No, it's a Swiftie thing.
yeah.
It's part
you
of
go
the
to the
Swiftie
concert and
cult.
you exchange
And you
these-
exchange them with
yeah,
other
yeah.
Swifties.
What?
I feel like this
Yeah.
is
At the
like I
concert.
feel like
What
friendship
is going
bracelets
on
and things
here?
like that have happened before.
Well, they have,
Well, yeah,
but not in this exact
yeah.
like this detail where there's it's like specific style
Yeah.
of.
Are you guys going to exchange bracelets at some point in
Well,
the show?
If we play Taylor Swift, we might.
See how the rest of the show goes. Really,
I really want to like study like how she got so big,
She's huge.
how she got to this level. There's not a lot of artists ever really that have gotten to like this. Like she's at a high of highs.
well, her demographic they targeted it hard, and she's got the bulk of it. Like
No,
young girls, teenage girls.
And I would love to like learn like how they
Well,
did
you've got a
all
girl-
of that
a
and
daughter
stuff. And
that's
it's
in
just
that
because it's
wheelhouse.
absolutely
Yeah.
fascinating how well her team did at promoting her, making her this star that if she announced to stop in Edmonton, she did 3 dates at Commonwealth. Like
Yeah.
the systems couldn't handle that.
well, she broke Ticketmaster.
Yes.
Yeah.
broke.
Yeah.
That's
You know.
crazy.
Yeah, she's pretty incredible. Even her movie. My daughter went to the movie.
Right.
And there was a, for those who don't know, there was a dance platform right underneath. So the movie theater or the projection was right there. There's a dance floor.
What?
And they were dancing. So my daughter and her friends went and they were dancing on there. And then the people were trading these bracelets before. They had T-shirts on. So it was like they went to the concert. It was incredible.
It's a thing. It's a big thing.
It's crazy. My daughter, we go anywhere to see her in concert, right? Like it's
Are
crazy.
you going to Vancouver?
No, we're going to try to get tickets in Vancouver, Toronto, probably Toronto more. But,
Why Toronto?
well, I think we can get some tickets hopefully there.
Okay.
We'll get them anywhere.
Because
we can.
Vancouver's just announced, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think. So,
So how do you? These are going to be hard to come by these tickets, I
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah.
Former Canuck, but then also a former Battle of the Blade star.
Yeah.
Which one
Superstar.
carries more clout in getting tickets to a Swiftie concert?
Well, I'll just tweet at Taylor and say, hey, like, just so you know, here's my video, me doing a on-ice dance routine. I appreciate it. But no, I don't know. We'll just try. I may have to buy him another market or whatever. But like, it's pretty neat to go, right? It's pretty neat to see it. And she is a monster right now, absolute monster.
and that's the thing. Like it's like the Elks took advantage of that by getting two pairs of tickets, and gave them away in two different home games.
Yeah.
And you saw a bump in their attendance. Now, some of that was the team was playing better, but also part of that was straight up you had a chance to go see Taylor Swift in Europe.
Yeah.
It was
I don't
mature.
get it, but it,
And then that's
it is
where
a
I
thing.
really look forward to
It's a thing.
the case study of this to go back to and see what everything they did to get to this point where they absolutely crushed it.
Yeah.
Credit to Mark Michaud, who was a Swiftie before anyone
Yeah,
else.
he was. You do like her music? I like her music.
I couldn't tell you one of the
Oh
the
my
one
God.
song the summer.
Blank Space.
What?
I know Blank Space.
22.
No.
Was there
Shake It
one that
Off.
Karma or something?
Yeah.
What was the one this summer?
Karma is my
It was on-
boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I heard that one about
Like,
470
Mr.
times.
Perfectly Fine. I love that one. And I hope she's found love. Let's hope that she's found love with Travis Kelce.
Do you believe it's real?
I don't know. I guess.
I mean,
don't know.
it clearly isn't staged because she doesn't need that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
She doesn't need the publicity.
When does she start dating Bradley Cooper? Is that going to happen? Or
Why,
Ryan
you think
Gosling?
that's-
Is that guy? Are they married? I don't know.
Gosling's with.
I don't know.
When
is
she
It's
she
not
wanna-
Eva Mendes, is it?
Oh, if he did, good for him.
Ryan
Why not?
Gosling is.
Why not? Why
what's
Bradley Cooper? What's wrong with what's
Yeah.
going on?
Kelsey,
Why you
like
got to be
Kelsey?
such a downer over there?
I'm not a downer. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, Eva
build your
Mendes.
way up.
Ryan Gosling's with Eva
Oh,
Mendes.
fantastic. He's
Since
Kyler
2011.
Murray, would you feel better if it's your team that she was dating someone from? Like, is Kyler Murray still in the NFL? He is, right? He's
Yeah, you just can't
I'm not
see
a
him.
big Kyler Murray guy. Like,
How are your Giants doing?
Oh, well, we're
yeah,
tanking.
let's talk
Like,
about your
yeah,
team.
we
we're
went to the
trying
NFL.
tank. We're going to tank this year.
For who?
You're
You don't want-
you're not trying
Really?
to tank. You're going to tank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have a choice. Yeah, we
And
don't.
absolutely.
No,
What
we
happened
gotta
to
start over.
Dayball, man? He was such.
I
He
know.
was like the hottest thing in NFL.
I was
coaching
going
last
back
year.
to the Bills to be the OC.
Yeah, right. Well, they were talking about Dorsey coming to the Giants. I'm like, we'll hold on.
Stay away.
Yeah, if you can't make Josh Allen work, I don't know who you can make work, right? I don't know what they're having a bad year. I don't think they're deep enough and talented enough, right? And some of the players that have are injury prone. I would almost start it. I'd move out from Saquon. I love him, but he's just a freedom fighter on that team, right? Go somewhere else. Just say we're going to start over again. It's not working.
Damn.
Well, and those running backs, they just have such a short shelf life nowadays that
Yeah.
you might as well move
Some
on.
do, some don't. You
Who
know
still goes long?
what's
Like,
that?
Who goes into their 30s?
Well,
it's-
not many NFL
Yeah.
players go into their 30s.
But like
That's
the
a good
running
point.
back, it's just like I don't feel like these teams move on so quickly from them nowadays.
You think McCaffrey's going to be moved on from?
Well, he was.
I mean, but even you look back in the day of like Priest Holmes and Curtis Martin. Like Curtis Martin had a long career.
Yeah.
But the running style was different then, right? It was ground and pound. Now it is out of the backfield, moving your running back around, treating them more like a receiver. Whereas running backs used to be built differently.
I miss those running backs.
Yeah, like Clinton Portis. I heard a
Portis, yeah.
podcast
Love
with
Portis.
him, and it's almost like he's saddened by the state of running backs where it is now. Like it's not like you rarely see fullbacks anymore,
Oh,
right?
very rare.
But like I don't know why it's almost like they've chosen to take the game this way, not
Because
by
entertainment.
necessity.
Because
What's more entertaining than seeing a guy rack up 140 yards and just? I guess for me,
seeing
it's
Patrick
different,
Mahomes
but-
throw 400 yards with Josh Allen throwing 350 yards in a game and each throwing 4 touchdown passes. For the casual fan, that's way more exciting
True.
because they're getting the points and the air show gets you the points quicker. I'm with you. I love the run game. I love that.
Give me some John Kuhn at fullback.
I want that. I want that 14-15 play drive that moves the field very methodically and mixing in the pass and the run, and it's smash mouth football. But that's not going to get the ratings.
No, and I feel for you, Struddy, because I'm a Commanders fan.
Oh yeah.
So we suck too.
Sam Howell.
Yeah, the three of
But
you
at least
all
I've got a
knocked at teams.
quarterback.
yeah.
Baltimore Ravens a big win
Sam Howell's
yesterday.
the
He's
guy.
the
The guy.
Ravens doing well.
Yeah.
At least someone's
Yeah, Lamar
team
had a
here
big
is
night
good.
for me on fantasy.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's nice.
You have him on fantasy? How's your fantasy team doing?
I'm in a few leagues. I'm above 500 in all of them. So I don't know. I'm not going to brag. It's not that great, but
Well, you're above 500.
I know. But I have McCaffrey in one. So I mean, that helps a lot.
I've been decimated by injury.
Have you?
It does.
Yeah,
hurt.
Nick Chubb was my first overall pick.
That was disgusting.
Gone.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that's
I had a terrible trade. We had a trade deadline this week. I had like the
think we do
worst
too.
offer.
What?
It was a first and a fifth. And now a first round pick. Here's our first round.
What position are you currently sitting in your league?
Oh, it's all tight.
Okay.
I'm
So
about like
anything
I'm a
can
pretty
happen?
good. I'm second most points scored in the league.
no, we didn't
I would
ask
say
how
that.
many points
I
you
know,
got. We
but
want to know
that's
what your
a-
record is.
That means you're a loser.
yeah, that's
you can't answer
we
the
already
question
know the
Well, no,
answer.
because
You're
everything's so
below 500.
tight. I'm
Nerd.
not. I'll pull this up for you.
God.
Hey guys,
Whatever.
I have one of the good players.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't ask you if you had a good player.
I didn't say I have
My
a
shooting
second most
efficiency is
points.
really good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not what we asked.
I'm
Give us
6
the
and
answer.
4. I am 6 and 4.
Oh, so you're-
in my division. There's 2 teams at 7 and 3, and in my conference, the other teams are 5 and 5, 5 and 5, 4 and 6, 4 and 6. So we have 16 teams in our league.
Holy jeez.
Yeah,
Do
so
you have
that's
any
what-
good players on your team at all? Like
I have
that's-
lots, but
Well, you're 6 and 4.
So
That's not.
it's a
It's not clear to
16
tail
team
of tape
league,
there.
and you keep 5. So when you get to the first round, you are drafting the best rookies, and then just a bunch of garbage already.
Yeah, and I can't even acknowledge a five
Yes.
keeper per
Yes.
team.
16
Like that's
of them,
bush
right?
league, man. Like,
So
agree.
I
talk
was
to
offered.
Struddy and I when you
I was
you
offered-
get up to the big leagues.
Yeah.
I was offered a first round pick and a 5th round pick for St. Brown with the Lions. I'm like, well,
How long can you keep him for?
and forever. There's no limits like that or something. So I'm like, why
Well,
am
I
I
guess,
going to
you
give
know,
up one of my best
I
receivers
guess they do
and
need
this
leagues
young
for
guy
people like
for
that.
a first round and a 5th round of that? Again, St. Brown's one of my keepers. It was an
you
awful
can't- you
trade,
can't
and I'm
do
doing
that.
well. I have a lot of good players.
You know who my starting running back is? One of them, Rob Dowdle.
Who's that?
Exactly.
Wow.
Why is- how
Exactly.
many teams in your league?
14.
So I have better running backs than you. I got 16 teams.
Injury, man.
Well, figure
And
it out.
Ma-
I have injuries.
Madison's out, right? He's my mail carrier, which is bad.
Yeah.
If
I've
he's
got
my-
Keenan Allen, St. Brown, Cooper Kupp, and Devontae Smith as my receivers.
Oh my God, what kind of league are you in?
I've
That's
drafted-
amazing.
You playing
I've
against
drafted
7-year-olds?
these
You're only
guys.
6 and 4.
That's the thing. I've been.
Oh my God.
I've
Mismanagement.
I had a loss. I had a loss this year in the first game of the season. It was the Bills game. I think they returned a punt for a touchdown or something in overtime or something like that.
The Jets.
The Jets. That's
Jets
what it was.
scored. Yeah.
That cost me because my defense took point loss on that one, and it cost me that game. So there's just been a couple small things like that. So no, I actually have a good. I have a really good team. I'm just not.
With those 4 receivers, you should be better than 6 and 4.
I have the second most points, Struddy.
I know, but that's
Scored.
that's
This
not
again,
wins.
this
That's,
again.
we don't
I
hear
can't do
about it.
much about the team I'm going up against.
Don't tell me how to sell it yesterday. We were trying
I've
to lose
been
weight
in-
today. We're trying to get on it, right?
What's your record?
I'm above 5. I think I have a couple 6 and 4s, a 7 and 3.
So
But I'm not
was
talking
7
about how
and 3.
good my league is. Like, don't.
I'm not saying my league's good. I was
Sorry,
going.
how good
I was
am I?
going to this saying that I just had a terrible trade offer,
Yeah.
and now you guys are coming at my team.
Yeah, I had a guy, he tried to trade me. I have Keelan Allen, and he tried to get, who's the quarterback for Seattle?
Gino.
Geno
Gino and Tyler Lockett for Keenan Allen. I'm like, geez, that's pretty generous.
Keenan Allen's a producer.
I
had him up
He's
on-
killing on TDs
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
I had him up for on my trade block at the
Allen?
in the off season because only if I needed to. I was trying to get rid of a keeper, like trade a player away, get a pick because I had too many keepers.
I've got AJ Brown,
And-
but I'm thinking of moving him.
Well, he's
for
a
draft
physical
picks.
player. He's such a physical.
What's your
He's
record?
He's the number. I'm on the bubble,
Okay.
but because of
So
my
that's
lack
not
of
the
depth,
record, though. Again, what's with you guys?
I think it's 5 and 5
Ducking
and
the questions,
would be-
right?
five.
Five
be
and 5
and
5 and 5. I said I'm on the bubble. That's middle of the
I
pack,
don't
Struddy.
recall it that way.
Jeez,
You're just like
Mr.
a
Math,
politician.
off
Mr.
over
Math,
here.
yeah. Screw you.
I'm the third most points,
It's
Struddy.
because you didn't bring him a coffee.
Take back that invite for coffees next week.
Oh,
okay?
snap.
Yeah. But if I'm if I can get a couple draft picks for him, because he could change something.
How many keepers?
We do keepers different. We are allowed 2 keepers, but if, let's say, I drafted a player in the 5th round and I want to keep him next year, he costs me my 3rd round pick.
2 picks ahead.
So you're penalized.
Oh, I see.
But you can keep him. So essentially, you can't keep anybody in the top 3 rounds. So you have to dig deep. You have to actually do your research. It is a real league, unlike this Bolshevik
This league,
have
you
over
need to
here.
do research.
Well,
You need to
apparently.
find I drafted Cooper Cup in the 5th round, like his first year. Or
Right.
something. I have to
So
go
when you
find
do that
these
in our
guys.
league, you have to eventually
Yeah.
spin them out. Like there's a guy that
See, I wish.
drafted.
I love
His
drafts.
name's escaping me, but the quarterback for Herbert
Tom Brady. Oh.
Chargers.
Yeah.
So he drafted him because he came out. I think he was still behind. Was he behind Phil Rivers? I forget, but he wasn't going to be the designated starter, and he picked him up in the 14th league. So he's been riding his coattails for 3 seasons, and he still can keep him for another
Oh, yeah, every year it has to go up 2 rounds.
up 3 rounds.
Oh, 3 rounds.
Yeah,
That's-
but it spits out all the top end players.
Well, the Chargers are kind of irrelevant. Like
They are. I thought
Connor
they'd be
Halley's
more
team,
relevant.
right? Or-
They're always like that, though.
they're just irrelevant.
But here's what's going to happen. They're going to have a great December.
You always
They
think that they're
always have a
coming- yeah.
great December.
You think
And they
this
get
is it.
right on 500
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
just make the playoffs or they just miss.
Yeah.
All because they had a great December.
Yeah.
But the rest of the year, they were
Yeah.
crap.
They're like the Minnesota Wild, right? They're always hanging around, but they're not over the top.
Yeah.
It's a bad team to cheer for. I'd rather cheer for a team that bottoms out than wins championships, right?
Well, and you've seen the
Giants.
championships, too. You've seen the mix.
Yeah, it's emotional. Roller
Unlike
coaster.
unlike Connor with those Chargers.
Yeah, or Arizona, another example of a team that is.
It's painful. It's a painful franchise.
Or
to
you just cheer for the Ravens and you almost never bottom out. Just gonna say, just stay.
You're just kind of always
consistent.
Very
not the
modest.
best.
Yeah.
That would be the worst.
The two
At
Super
least-
Bowl
at least-
titles say different.
At least us 3 are comfortable in our own skin that our teams suck.
Yeah.
You get this.
2 rings.
You get these impressions that
That's a
you guys
wild
are
one.
Two
gonna.
rings.
How long's it been? Like
2001, the 2000 season, January of 21, and then I think the 12 season, January or February of
so
2013.
2 and 24 years. Not bad.
That's exactly what you would
I'm
think
good
of
with that.
a Ravens fan.
Yeah,
I'm perfectly
You're happy
fine with
with
that.
that.
You want to know something? If the Ravens never win the Super Bowl again, I'm cool.
No, you
I
won't.
saw 2
I
Super Bowls in my
disagree with that.
life. I've seen them. A lot of he's never seen one.
No.
Have you seen? You would have seen how many
Well, the Redskins Commanders have won
Yeah.
3 Super Bowls
in your
Long
lifetime?
time ago.
long time ago.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
because they
who
won
was
the
the
early
quarterback?
In the
90s.
early
didn't they?
90s, Mark
90.
Rippon.
Yeah,
Mark Rippon, and then
They had
before
Doug,
that-
Joe
Doug
Gibbs.
Williams.
Doug
and
Williams,
then they
yeah.
had Mark Theismann.
but
Well,
Joe
that's a long time.
Joe Gibbs coached.
coached. Yeah,
Yeah, coached through all
But
of
now
them.
new
So you've
ownership
seen a couple
should
of
be-
Thank
those.
God.
Yeah, should be better.
You've seen 2,
Yeah.
or no, you would have seen more of you Giants.
Eli, man.
Yeah, Eli.
Well, Eli did the 2, and then you had Phil Sims era.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Were you a fan at the time?
Well, that's where I kind of started to
Yeah.
like them, right? But yeah, it's
And you just got none.
Yeah, one of my early impressions of them was when they went to the Super Bowl against Pittsburgh, and that one they lost in heartbreaking
was a-
fashion.
that was a
That
great
was
game.
a
though.
heartbreaker.
who was the quarterback there of that?
That was Kurt Warner,
Kurt Warner.
Oh.
Larry,
Larry
Fitz,
Fitzgerald and
Anquan Bolden,
who won a title with my Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rings, baby.
With his
Rings,
Ravens,
rings.
certainly.
Tough time.
Yeah, I think when they last won a championship it was like 1940 something. I think they were in
Yeah.
St. Louis or Chicago back then.
I feel bad for the Phoenix area. They haven't won a lot.
It's a place where you don't go to win. You're happy that you're there.
Yeah, nice weather. They win
Cards
every day.
don't. Coyotes are just a disaster.
Suns, meh.
Suns can't win. They have
D-backs.
great teams, and D-backs have the one title.
The Suns might be relevant.
But they don't win.
Yeah.
Like they can't go and win like they had Charles Barkley, who was an MVP one year, and of course, who do they go up against? The Bulls and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That city has a lot of teams, but they just can never win a title.
You know what I was talking to somebody about the other day is that Calgary has 3 hockey teams that they facilitate
Yep.
in that city.
Yeah, Hitman, Wranglers, Flames.
I can't. How do they do that? Like we couldn't do that here.
It'd be a struggle.
But they do 3 teams.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Do they all play at Saddle and
Yeah,
Wilton?
that's what I was,
Yes,
where do
they
the Hitmen?
The Hitmen have
don't they
bounced
switch?
back and forth. There's another arena that they go between. But yeah, I don't think that the Wranglers and the Hitmen are, because you're basically competing, against your own product. Yeah,
I can't believe
because
that.
Calgary's roughly the same size as Edmonton, maybe if like
It's a bit more.
40,
It's
bigger.
50,000 bigger.
It's bigger, but still, that's
Not much.
That's stretching it out a little
Yeah,
thin.
not enough to support 3.
Kind of like you the last few days, hey, with the morning show. How you doing?
I'm still here.
You look tired.
I am tired.
Yeah.
What do you got to do the rest of the day? You got another show later?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have
oil
to do the
stream.
oil stream.
Noon.
What time?
Oh,
Noon?
man.
Yeah.
Noon till 1.
And
I'm just here to laugh.
And then we're gonna go watch Canada take on Jamaica at the Pint on White. You're
And then
more than
we're
welcome
gonna
to
play
come.
hockey. Then
If you'd
I'm
like
gonna
to
do
come
2
watch
shows
us,
tomorrow.
come cheer on our boys.
That's not about. What time's that at?
5 o'clock.
And then I'm going to sleep
5.
for the rest of the
We got a
weekend.
hockey game.
Oh,
I
okay.
coach my
Well.
kids.
Yeah.
Getting to sleep.
At some point.
At what time's the game? What time's your men's league tonight?
10:45.
Oh, jeez.
You don't play men's league anymore, do you?
Want to come out tonight? 10,
No, I don't.
10:45
I can tell you
Londonderry.
right now, I do not. I do not. Where's it at? What?
Londonderry.
Oh, no, that's a double no. It's too far.
You
That's
take
a
the
long-
216.
That's a long ways to go.
The 216.
The 10-day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Well, the official
Well, that's the
title is the
official number. It's
216.
is it a highway? Is it considered a highway
That's
or
a
what
way.
is
I think
it?
it's the
Freeway?
secondary highway.
Yeah.
Something like that. So they have numbers, and Americans love their numbers.
Yeah. So
We
the
love-
story on the
From the 780 on the
Nielsen show.
216, dog.
We had some old neighbors from Phoenix that drove up. They lived in Denver originally, and then they were my parents' neighbors in Phoenix. They came up to visit, and they're like, "Hey, we took the 216 from the hotel." And I'm like, "What the hell's the 216?" They're like, "Ring Road." I was like, "The Henday? It's called the 216." And they're like, "Yeah, it's
hilarious,
great."
eh?
And then
I
they
called
make
it
you
the-
then they make you drink beer in the morning. I mean, this is just you're just in a whirlwind
I feel
right now.
great. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's tough, man. That like what time you got to get up to do that?
4:15.
Oh man,
4:15 to be here for
4:15.
6.
Yeah.
Struddy, you couldn't be a morning show guy. could
I'm a
you?
morning show. I'm not.
He's
We
a
do
morning,
our pods
yeah,
at
he
the
can
night
do
time.
it,
I
yeah.
love the mornings.
I did 4:45. Not gonna lie.
You'd be so because yeah, the post game show can be
it's
tough.
later.
Eh?
you shower?
Yeah, it's later. Yeah. Yeah.
Today?
So it's, that's like
Yeah.
Okay.
there's
I
nights we're
know.
not done
I-
till 12:30 or 1, right?
Good hygiene.
But it's ready for
Night
the
and
next
night
morning.
before.
And you just do it, right? That's just, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
But it makes it short, like, because the next morning, some mornings I'm on the ice at 6:30 or 7. So that's a quick turnaround, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
I hate mornings. I can't stand them.
really? You're not a morning
No,
guy?
I'm a
He
night
goes
person.
out of his way to be a dick in the mornings.
I don't go out of my way to be a dick in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm just very quiet and would like some peace. And if you want to talk to me, I'm going to be very short. That's it. I
kind of-
made at the start of EST, I made it very clear to everyone: don't talk to me in the mornings.
Sounds
Until
like
I
a
start
Richard
talking
to me.
don't talk to me. And then you would talk to me, and it's like, well, I'm not going to give you like this full. I'm not going to go through like my night before. I'm just going to be like,
No, I
That's
just
it.
I need to feed off some energy. So I like to engage in
That's
the
why
morning.
Eric is
I
here.
agree. Yeah. What
That's
time
why
is your
Eric
ice break in the morning?
Depends
You
on
just
the
gotta
day.
work on him.
Depends on the day. Just
I
let me
keep
be.
poking him.
I always say it's about an hour to an hour and a half after I've awoke, actually awoke.
Right.
That like I'll be fine. Like you just got to give me that extra time.
You don't.
So I'm awake.
Yeah.
Just let me be in my own place. Let me do my thing.
Sure.
No.
And then eventually, once I start talking, then I'm good to go.
You know what he does? You
So-
talk to him, and he just like looks at you with like a half smile, and then he walks away. And you're
I
like,
will
what
answer
an a-hole.
in as
I
few
agree.
words as possible, if any at all. This is just it's anyone that knows me knows that. It's just the facts. And I've made it very clear, and I'm not going to apologize for that. That's your fault for asking me something.
Well, why don't you try to change it? A little self-improvement.
Yeah,
Have
self-help.
you ever thought about that? Like,
No, I'm just going to get off the mornings.
Struddy's a
Sure.
sports psychologist. He can
I'm
help you
done.
with
I'm
that.
done on the mornings right away here.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I've been training YouTube Trev to do that, so I don't have to.
okay.
So Monday would be like basically my last day doing mornings, and then it's only going to be occasional, like once or twice a week. I'm going to have to come do mornings. That's it. It's going to be wonderful.
What time of your day start then after that?
I'll be here for about 8:15.
So it's still
8:30?
early, but you can
Quite
retrain your
reasonable.
mind, right? People
No.
can do amazing things.
I prefer to be up at night and having my night to do things.
Right.
And then going to bed and waking up
Like
later
a vampire. So why don't you
Oh,
retrain
easily.
yourself to?
because I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, no. So you're being stubborn.
Well, no, because there's also no benefit to me for that.
We're helping EST.
Because I will. Because now, see, here's the problem though: is
now
I have
we're
to do
going down the
morning.
right path
Now we got to
here.
go. No.
If we're keeping score here, Struddy's kicking your ass
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
now.
well, I'm just
Ding, ding,
trying
ding,
to
ding,
help.
Who's
a little
kicking
bit,
whose
right?
ass?
Struddy.
Yeah.
So
Not a
I
chance.
was a morning guy. I was doing a nighttime show
Yeah.
when I first retired.
Fair.
And
But
I
I
had
need
to
to.
retrain myself.
I need to work in the afternoons here.
Right.
So if I do morning show,
Yeah.
I can't work the afternoons. I got to go home.
okay.
But like,
But so I need to do the afternoons because who else is going to keep this place on track?
So
You think Dusty's going to do that?
That is fair. Now that's the point. Yeah.
So I have to do. So I can't be here all day. I can't
Yeah,
do
no,
15-hour days every
no,
day.
that's fair. No, and you're
So
not getting younger.
I don't need
Yeah.
to. I don't need to
But-
retrain myself for mornings.
Right.
I will just come and do my thing, and then the
Reasonable.
occasional times I come do mornings. Dusty's fine with this. Eric's been fine with this. You're the only one that apparently has problems with this, Tommy.
well, I
and you're
try to
barely
engage
in.
with you in the morning, and you're just
Yeah.
you look at me, smile, and walk away.
You have Trev. You have Eric to talk to. You
Yeah,
don't need to
I
talk
kind
to
of
me.
picked on Trev today. I felt bad.
Oh yeah, and then he went home.
He's not feeling good.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
because of you.
No.
So are you
Well
saying
done.
that When you,
HR
come,
Daddy's going to email me now.
when you come in at 8:15, will you be a joy to be around?
Yes, because also no one's going to talk to me at that point too.
Oh,
But you
that's-
Because there's no one here to talk to me because they'll be doing their show.
Right,
I got to
right.
walk in, go to my office, set some things up. Hangout guests won't come in until about 8:45. I'll be ready for those Hangout guests.
All right.
No
Well,
problem.
You better be. We don't
I'll
wanna
be
see-
set up.
I'll be checking in with Tom.
Oh, it'll be great.
Yeah, I'll follow up with you.
When
All
this
the
guy
reports
shows
ready.
up, he'll be like, I'll be fine for him when he shows
And Tom
up.
of all people, I mean, he's just such a nice
you.
man.
He is
It would be,
pleasant.
Yeah,
it would be
no, it's
really.
gonna be.
No, I'm
I
always
came in. I
bring-
did the cool bet hotline of the day and all that.
Yeah.
there were no
It
issues
was a
with
little
that.
Snippy, but whatever.
What do you mean I was snippy during that?
Grumpy.
That I was not snippy for that one. By the way, the cool bet Edmonton Sports Talk parlay is up plus 975. Is that what I got it at? I got to double check that.
What is that on? How many teams are you betting
It's
on?
stacked.
We've got-
There's a
Dusty's not here. I
smorgasbord
was
there.
put in charge of the EST parlay. I went all over the place. Plus 975.
Go on.
So we got Canada today against Jamaica, winner or draw. So it's a double chance there. We got Oilers Lightning tomorrow over 5.5 goals. We've got Max Verstappen to win the Grand Prix tomorrow in F1.
Should be a given.
We got the Grey Cup under 47.5 points.
I
Did the
hate.
prop get in?
I hate you.
Thank you.
Don't bet unders, losers.
I was trying to
I
build
took
this
the
up.
under.
We go overs or nothing.
Plus a rouge to be scored.
Oh, so
One
Canadian.
rouge
So
and that hits.
Canadian.
So we've got 5 things that we're looking at plus 975. That's only at Cool Bet. Boom, as Struddy would say. Boom.
So if you bet $1, how much do you get? For that?
$9.75.
That's what I
So
thought.
you're like, if you bet $1, your account, if
Yeah.
it hits, will be $10.75
Yeah.
more after that because you get your dollar back and then you get $9.75.
It's a pretty good return there.
I know.
I gotta say.
High event the weekend. is
Oh,
what you're looking
we've hit like all the big things this weekend.
for. Really?
We
Grey
still
Cup,
haven't said
Oilers,
who we think is going to
F1,
win.
Canada of what?
The Grey Cup.
Alouette.
Really?
You think so?
I'm just rooting for Jason Moss. I'm not
Hey,
going
you
to lie.
love Jason Moss. Hey,
Well,
why do
we
you
do
like
a
that guy
hunting
so
show
much?
together,
Yeah.
Okay.
which kicks off this Sunday, Wild TV, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Bozone Live Season 4. I'm your host again.
Good.
That's great for you, but
Thank
they're not
you.
going to win. I'll tell
Here's
you
my
why.
fear about the Grey Cup before you
I'm
go into why.
selfishly cheering for them.
I'm
basically,
scared
Jay.
that we're going to get to Grey Cup halftime show. Green Day is going to come on, but at that time, it's 31-0 for the Bombers. And I'm just like, okay, what's the point of a second half here? That's what I'm
That's why you
fearful
need a
of.
squares board.
Yeah, the squares that never get
Keeps
sold.
it keeps you entertained, no
Where does
matter what
Michael
the
Shea
score.
rank in all-time coaches in the CFL?
Well, tonight's going to, or Sunday's going to be a big decision for that, I think.
How many is this for him? If
It'd be 3 and 4.
in a row. You know what's crazy is that 2019 season, he was on the cusp of being fired,
Yeah,
and it just they took off.
yeah.
You remember that? Like there was talk. It's like, where's this
Yeah.
Bombers team going? And then boom, Caleros comes in, and all of a sudden, Mike O'Shea is living high and dandy, and
You know-
yeah, as he should, because they seem to really love and respect him.
He's a likable guy too. When you look at him, you know he was a CFL legend
Yep.
with the Argonauts, so he had a lot of, I guess, goodwill
Yeah.
from
Good
that.
cachet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's just a likable looking guy.
Yeah.
But I think the Alouettes are going to try and stop the Bombers' run game, which they have to.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to sell out on that. And Colaros. I mean,
he
if
gonna
you want
pick
to
him
look for some fun props, I'd look at passing yards from Colaros because I think it's going to go over.
You think he's going to pick them apart?
Well, look at his receivers. He's got Sean, Kenny Lawler.
I'm mad at
Sean,
Kenny
is
Lawler.
Sean banged up?
Yeah, they're going to play
Yeah.
though. Him and Dembski are going to
Okay.
play.
But what are you getting out of them? Like, what is it? If Dalton Schoen can't go last weekend, what's he going to be?
I mean, even
And
if
Dembski was a game time decision. Like, I don't know
Lawler's
how,
their
if they're
number
not
one
healthy.
guy.
And I'm mad at Nick. Did you guys see what Lawler said about Edmonton yesterday? Says he said, "Do you have any advice?" Or she was asked, "Do you have any advice for free agents? People going to be free agents?" And he said, "Don't sign in Edmonton." Which, like,
They
I
paid
know
him. They paid him a king's ransom to play 1 year with.
He
Edmonton.
came, got the bag here. They paid him a
Yeah.
bunch of money. Yeah, maybe the organization wasn't the best when you're here. Be quiet then, though. You got paid extremely well.
That's kind of sad, because it used to be the Eskimos were the cream of the crop
Right.
in
100%.
terms of CFL and how they treated their
sad.
players, how the locker room was. And honestly, man, I'll say it till the day I die. The day they let go of Dwayne Mandrusiak in that fashion and did that whole thing was when the Elks started declining. That was just a garbage move by a team and an organization that doesn't do stuff like that. So that was just the wrong move. They've made so many missteps, that organization in the past.
Yeah, valid.
You know.
Absolutely.
So there's no surprised there's such angst from the fans, right?
The Eric Tillman era always rubbed me the wrong way. That was a weird move, you know. And then the Ricky Ray trade and pure ego.
Yep.
Only one way to go.
Zach Collaros passing on Coolbet. It's over under 271.5 yards.
That's high. So they're on to me.
They must have heard you.
They must have heard.
Yeah.
Passing touchdowns over under 2.5.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Yeah.
I'd bite. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Put me down for 20, okay?
Put on Dusty.
Just
Yeah, doesn't he have a running account?
yes.
Isn't that how this works?
That'd be a great idea.
Struddy, who's going to win?
To throw on it.
I think it's going to be Winnipeg as well. But I remember Collaros. Remember he had all those concussion
Yep.
issues? I think he got traded from, was it Saskatchewan to Winnipeg?
Yep.
Saskatchewan to Toronto.
And then,
And then on the
right.
deadline day, Winnipeg traded for Collaros. And that year, then he played the playoffs.
Yeah.
That was 19 then.
Yeah.
Because they had Matt Nichols, they had Chris Strevler,
Yeah.
and they then had Zach Collaros. And it was a mess. But then
Yeah.
Collaros took over. And
But I
he's
remember
been there ever
thinking he
since.
should quit. He had because there was a bunch of concussions kind of in a and they were bad.
Yep.
I remember thinking, I remember saying, I think this guy his friend should tell him he's got to quit playing. And now here we are.
He was always for a period of time, just one hit away from being out for the
was
year
so
type
scary.
thing. And he would get that little hit
Yeah.
or that big hit. It depended.
Yeah.
And he'd be gone. And
So
then all of a
scary.
sudden, that's why no one wanted him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Winnipeg took the
Scary.
chance and he won them that Grey Cup. And he's been there ever since, winning MOPs
Yeah.
and Grey Cup titles or taking them
Yeah.
to Grey Cups.
Crazy.
I wonder how Lieutenant Eric and the like of Saskatchewan Roughriders fans feel to have two of their former quarterbacks starting in the Grey Cup.
I don't think there's as much anger about Collaros.
Fajardo was just a screw. Like, why did that happen?
Let him go?
Riddle me
It
that.
was him and Moss both are out, right? And they both went to
Yeah.
Montreal.
Because Fajardo hasn't, even though the Als are there, it's not like he's been great. It's not like Fajardo beat the Argos last week, right?
No.
That when you get 9 turnovers as a defense,
Argos beat the
you
Argos.
better win that football game.
That must stink, hey? You lay an egg. You're the Grey Cup favorite going into it, and you lay an egg in the Eastern Conference Final, and boom, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's heartbreaking.
As a guy who likes the Elks, I'm very thankful for this though, because the Eskimos at the time went 16-2. They didn't win the Grey Cup, so I didn't want the Argos doing that. I didn't want the Argos to get 16 wins this year. I want them to have less, and also then the Argos can't have another Grey Cup win. Which when you look at franchised Grey Cup totals, Argos have 19. Edmonton Elks Eskimos franchise has 14.
Oh.
I want in my lifetime to see Edmonton pass Toronto. If Toronto gets that next one, like it was always going to. Or do they have 18?
Could happen.
So that's the thing. So I didn't, I'm actually kind of thankful Toronto didn't win again because
Yeah.
I want Edmonton to stay close.
Betting aside and the game aside, I'm really, honestly, I don't think I've been this excited for a Grey Cup halftime show as I've been in a while.
Well, the week you got Carrie Underwood tonight. They had Shaggy at the awards yesterday that
Mr.
apparently no one could watch.
Bombastic. How can
And then you got Green Day on Sunday.
Yeah, they're trying hard.
Big Green Day guy?
That's a no.
Yeah, I like I wouldn't say I'm not a big concert going to
No, he doesn't like concerts.
No, I'm starting to soften a little bit
What
on
do you
that
mean?
position.
Really?
A little bit.
Why is this Swiftie
What have you
now?
gone
But,
to?
well, I don't know. I did last. I can't remember the last. Well, what did we? I know I saw John pre-pandemic, so that was when Justin Timberlake. But I would.
But
say,
how do you soften if you haven't gone to a concert again?
Well, I have. These are, but like I've gone to more concerts in the last 5 years than
Okay.
I did the first 40 years of my life, right? But I think that Green Day. I don't know if I'd want to see them in concert. I don't mean to be mean. I just feel like that's not really. Like they've got a couple good songs. Well, got quite a few.
You're more a Nickelback guy, aren't you?
Like time of my life, I do. Well, actually, I just saw Nickelback in concert, so there you go. I love Nickelback.
I love
the
Nickelback too. I'm
energy.
not afraid
You
to
saw him
say
in
it.
concert, not a Heritage Classic.
Or
did you see Heritage
I was
Classic?
at Heritage.
Okay.
I was working Heritage Classic for my son's hockey team. I was selling beer before the game outside, and then we went inside, and I was selling like T-shirts and stuff. So I ran in every period. I'd go in and watch.
You're infringing on Gager's territory.
Is he doing that too?
He sells hot dogs at the Commonwealth during elk season.
Oh, for his.
So daughters,
Daughter,
yeah.
yeah.
So you're
we've
infringing
talked
on Gager's territory there.
Well,
it's
Lisa-
more. There's more trouble between the two of you now coming. I'm thinking
Bad
I
blood.
wonder if he can see people coming from a distance. Right? He can't see. He does not. Are we busy? Yeah, we're busy now. They're right up on us, Gager. You can see it.
Oh, geez, Jason. I don't know where Tommy went this time.
Bathroom break.
That's 2 in the show then.
Coffee's going right through him.
Matt Iwanyk,
probably having a
Jay
nap.
Milne, Jason Strudwick with you on the EST Hangout. Reminder, actually, those with the Nasty Club, our merch for the Nasty Club should be arriving sometime next week, which means at some point next week, you'll get an email from me saying Nasty Club packages are available for pickup. That's coming very, very soon. And then store orders are going in, so hopefully we'll get that for those. Our store is now closed, but for those that got the order in, that should be coming December 15th or a little bit sooner. And that's all thanks to our official merch partner, The Hive Product Marketing, products that bring the buzz. Check them out, thehiveproductmarketing.com, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. We apparently, people want some of our stuff, and we've sold some of it.
Yeah, you should
That's
check
nice.
the nasty chat. Speaking of which, you're getting
People,
roasted.
I don't care what people think about me.
I know you don't. That's a great thing of you.
Did you let
Where
it
it's
match?
Maddie's throwing heat on that one.
No, coffee, beer, more coffee.
Running
thank you.
on flames right now.
I had a quick bit of sustenance. Thank you for getting apple fritters. I appreciate that. I had one. It was delicious.
All I said was no old fashioned plain. I think that's a detriment to any.
That's a
I
great.
love
That's a
those.
great
You should-
collection.
that would
of
be a
eat
Matt
them.
Iwanyk thing.
pastries.
I would eat.
Matt Iwanyk
I will say
likes
this about
old-fashioned
donuts.
plain.
I do not want to be the first one looking at a box of donuts and picking because I can't pick at that point.
Really?
I like them all, and I can't make the choice. Then I would rather go and not have an option because I'll be happy with whatever choice I get.
So do you not like making choices for your own life? That sounds what I'm hearing.
No, I do like making other choices for my life. It's just with donuts, like for some specifically with donuts, I
think
don't
it's-
want to
How
have
is
to
it
make my
hard?
choice. I don't,
Yeah,
I
because
like
they're-
that one and that one.
yeah.
I don't like that and that.
I
So
like
get
them all.
the ones you like.
I like them all. So I'm not going to eat 5 donuts, Tommy.
Yeah,
Well,
you got. I
So you
think you're-
can't clearly say, "Hey, I like
Not for
sour
that one.
cream,
Yeah.
sour
Yeah, like-
cream glaze."
I don't have
like maple glaze. I
I
like
don't have
apple
one
fritters.
favorite. I can't say that.
I like chocolate dip. Like
Yeah, I don't.
it's okay.
I'll eat anything. That and also actually fantasy. I do like not having bench depth.
So you're a grumpy
Straight up.
bitch till 9 in the morning, and you can't choose your own
Donuts.
donuts. Like you've got a lot going on.
And
in
he
your
said
life.
earlier, he did say earlier, he is woke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
what?
Self-induced angst.
Yeah, there is. There seems to be.
Yeah.
a
He
lot
said,
going on.
I
You've
awoke.
changed. We need to go for lunch. We need to sort through some of these challenges.
Yeah,
you have.
Struddy's.
I'm actually. I'll gladly
side
go for
business.
lunch with you anytime, but we won't have anything to go through because I'm pretty happy in my skin.
Oh, there's
I'm
a
very
lot.
okay
There's a
with that.
lot. Once
Yeah.
you start peeling back the layers
Yeah.
on
Man.
this onion.
Yeah.
How
And all
long
of
does
a
it take
sudden-
you to choose a
Yeah.
menu item? Like, are we
Oh,
going to
not
be there
bad.
for hours?
No, I'm good with that. It's donuts.
you-
It's
Oh, man.
specifically
He was a
with
picky
donuts.
eater growing up.
Do
too.
you
Can-
allow
can you
your-
tell?
do
Can you
Do you
imagine?
allow yourself
I
to
bet.
indulge in an appetizer every now and then, or does you
I
just go
need to.
straight to the main course?
Usually it's main course. Actually,
Yeah.
I don't really always
Yeah.
get my family. Whenever we went out, we never really got appies. It was mostly just you order your
Right
deal
to the
and-
main course.
Almost, yeah.
Again, kind of like how Jay runs the show. Just Oilers talk for 5
It
minutes.
just jumps right in.
And then just
Gets
wham,
into the
bam.
heat of the order. Gets into all of that.
No
I just-
dessert.
I appreciate
Ever.
the support,
Yeah.
Struddy.
I'm just like I don't like. I'm also allowing everyone else to get what they want with
Sound
the
like
donuts. You know,
oodles of fun. too.
everyone has
Yeah.
their choice of donuts that they want,
Right.
and you could get what you want, and I'll be happy with whatever else.
See, you're deflecting to saying you're trying to appease others.
Yeah,
but
it
really,
is.
it's
It's
a
all of
problem with your own, self, interest. You don't love yourself.
Your
Clearly.
your
Oh, I love myself plenty, Jay.
your votes, your choices have value, Matt. Please
Yeah, I
listen
know.
to us.
I make
Hear
the,
us out.
See, here's the thing with EST. I'll make enough
with you,
choices
Struds.
that gets in everyone's ways. We'll do
see.
things my way. So for the donuts, people can have their way.
Okay. Well,
That's just how it is.
I think it's a.
I don't even like. I don't know. I don't see that much hate against me right now in the nasty chat, Jay. I don't know what you were talking about.
Oh, it must have flown by.
Yeah,
'cause I saw a lot of
Somebody
it.
say Maddie's throwing heat. Like there you go. That's all you need.
Underhand or what?
Dusty's gone. Maddie wears the
Silent.
crown. See, boom.
When's Dusty back? Monday? He'll be
Tuesday.
back?
Tuesday.
So-
Tuesday.
Oh, because the game, yeah.
Yeah, he's got to fly back, and yeah. So
Because they
It's
go
like
out and
we-
get
we-
smashed after the
Hell
World Cup,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh
Although
no,
he's
there's a
staying in
huge. There's
Niagara.
a no. That was just for the award show.
Oh, so he's now transferred
Yeah.
over to Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was weird too.
Odd. Yeah.
No, yeah,
But they
no,
did
he
it
went
in
to
Niagara
Niagara.
because they are not close.
No.
They did the apparently 35-minute Uber ride.
Niagara to Hamilton?
That's what somebody said to Dusty
You
yesterday.
better be flooring it.
I don't know about that.
So no, it was he had to go there for the award show, and then he went back. He drove today to Hamilton because he's in Hamilton the rest of the time.
You think Dusty's
know?
the kind of guy that goes for a boat ride and sees the falls?
I
By
think he walked
himself.
around, did the promenade
By-
around.
By
it.
himself.
Han Solo?
FaceTime in his family.
He probably hits the casinos, though, that guy?
No,
I don't think he's a casino
I
guy.
don't think because he's into the sports betting stuff. So he'll be hammering on
Yeah.
Cool Bet on his phone, trying to find things to bet on.
I like roulette. That's what I would play if I was at a casino. would be my first choice.
Just
Didn't
pure
ask you,
chance.
Jay.
Pure chance.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at
The
this.
donut talk is
He is really
worked out.
fired. Like, he is unraveling in front of us.
He kicked a nerve there.
He is unraveling.
Wow.
Jeez, wow. It doesn't
that was
take
some
much.
high heat with
Well,
the
doesn't
windmill
cheers.
underhand.
20 minutes.
It doesn't take much, Matty. Jeez, and we still
Red or black?
zeros, green.
Really?
Oh, you live like
So you just bet on
dangerously.
0. So you just wait all night for it to hit on the
You know
zero.
what?
Or do
I
you
don't
play a
play
couple
lot,
things, but also put on the green?
Like I got like 6 numbers that you'll throw chips on and then see how it
We-
goes.
I see why the green.
I have an
didn't even talk
interesting
about
story
that.
about that.
Do you want to after this?
Maybe.
Okay.
See how good this story
Let's
is.
see where this
Yeah.
goes. Okay, so we're in Vegas for my buddy's stag, and we're going to the UNLV BYU football game at Old Sam Boyd Stadium, home of the Las Vegas Posse. And anyway, so we're at Blondie's at, I think it was the Planet Hollywood, that shopping center there.
Yeah.
There's like 18 of us. We're having lunch, and they have offices above. They have that fake sky ceiling, you know where it looks like you're outside, but you're actually inside. And a walkie-talkie falls on our table, smashes plates, cuts up a bunch of guys. And the management comes and they're like, "Hey, sorry, we're gonna take care of your bill." So it was like $400 or $500. We're like, "Damn,
Nice.
So we had all this cash, and we're like, "Well, this must be an omen." And
Typical guy
we're like,
speak.
Yeah.
We're like, let's just put it all on black, because the guy that got hit with the most shrapnel from the plates that got smashed by the walkie-talkie, his name was Keith Black. So we're like, well, we're gonna put it all on black. We lost.
Yep.
And we went to the UNLV BYU game. My buddy's brother, who was the best man, bought the tickets in the BYU section, and there were no beer lines, and I didn't understand why until I realized what BYU was and the whole Utah
Kind
thing.
of a dry state.
Yeah, a bit
Yeah.
of a dry state. I was like, oh man, this is great. And UNLV got pumped like 56-9. They scored their first kick return touchdown in 10 years that day. Terrible afternoon where we wasted a lot of money, but the beer lines were very short. Anyway, that's beside the point. I was just
I love it.
talking about roulette.
My last year at the No-Hitters, we started playing craps. A lot of the guys, like I love
Oh,
playing
wow.
craps.
I like craps.
Yeah, it's so much
I want to
action.
learn it.
Yeah, and it's once you kind of get it, it's a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
you feel like you have a little bit more input into it.
You got to stay away from the inside stuff to really like.
Yeah, like I like the inside because it's action. But like you just throw like $10, like hard 8, so
Right,
hard 8
right.
2-4. So I like that, right? But anyway, so the younger guys started as a good leader, taking the guys to the casino.
Naturally.
Jordan and Everly, I remember we were in Montreal with like a few guys, Everly and Dubnik and stuff, and we're playing, and he kind of goes up on this like down. So we're starting to get on a bit of a heater, and Everly's up. So I'm like, Ebbs, we need you to take control of this table. He's like, Struddy, I've thrown this whole country on my back. I'm pretty sure I can put this table on my back. And craps out, bang! I'm like, oh my god, it was the funniest line though, right? Like. It was such a good line, and now they're Canadians. Like there's Montreal fans, they knew everyone's just howling, right?
Oh
when
my
craps
gosh.
out. But it's a lot of fun. I like the craps. It's a community game.
Maybe what we'll do is we'll go for lunch one day, and you could try to work on me. I won't respond.
Yeah.
But then we go to the craps table after, and you could teach me craps.
Yeah, well, it's hard because
You know?
craps. I don't like playing with just 2 people. Like you need to have
need a group.
Well, we'll
like,
go. I'm sure we can
No,
find.
well, no,
oh,
I'm
you
not
want to get
saying-
other people?
No, like just no. Like to go and just play. Like you can play backjack with 2 people. It's
Yeah.
fun, but a craps table it feeds off the energy.
You need a vibe.
You need a bit of energy. So like at
Yeah.
nighttime would be a good time to go.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we'll
Yeah.
go for dinner.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
We'll go to-
What's going on?
Well,
What's
No,
going
no
on? We're gonna
Appy,
double date?
because
We'll
you
go to
just
no.
have
We'll
to
do it
get
all.
come
We'll
straight
go to
into
the
the
Appy.
meal.
We'll go to maybe
I'll wash your
This guy
floors.
invited himself
We'll go
over
to
for
Hooligans
dinner.
Barrio. We'll have a couple
What a guy.
bulldogs. We'll have
Yeah.
some appies. We'll have some food. You could try to work on me. I won't respond,
Yeah, I know
but
that.
we'll
Wow.
try,
Wow,
and then we'll
sounds like
head
so
to
much fun.
the craps table.
Take the walls down, Matt. Take the
Oh,
walls
it's-
down.
I'm fine.
Chip away at them struts.
Bears football.
We could dim the
Great
lights and have a
season.
psychology session.
Great,
great
season.
season.
The boys should be proud of what they accomplished. Chris Morris did a great job. I feel so bad for how that season ended for them.
That was terrible.
Crazy.
And you know what? In hindsight, it's always 2020, right? But second down when the quarterback fumbled the ball with like a minute and some left, they're up 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you just take a knee and kick a field goal on third down? In hindsight,
Hindsight 20. Well, they had a touchdown call back for holds. Kicker hit the upright on a field goal attempt.
Yeah.
If he
Which
misses
essentially
and
gets
he
a
goes
rouge,
through the
right?
end zone,
Yeah.
that now the Rouge comes in. There was a point where a Bear receiver looked like to me he caught the ball. The ref from far away said it wasn't a catch.
Well, because that's how every ref is blind. It doesn't matter what
but
stadium they're in.
It was one where if that was a catch and the Bears, I think if they even have to punt eventually, I don't think they would have been in field goal range yet, but even a punt might have been a Rouge. Like there's moments in that game you could point to and be like, man, if they just got that one extra point.
Well, giving up that long bomb.
Oh.
You got to know better than that. Like,
Yeah.
that is football 101. After a huge emotional turnover, they're taking a shot. That happens like a lot.
So that goes to like you as a player, that's where the IQ
Get your
needs
ass
to come in.
20 yards deeper than you think you should be. I'm serious. Like that shot is coming, especially given the timeline left in the game.
Yeah.
Like-
That's where even all the sequences of events that occurred up until that point, the Bears had a chance to control their own destiny, and they gave up that huge play. And when I saw that long ball, I'm like, oh my God, this is going terribly. And then even when the offensive PI happened, I was like, I still am worried that UBC converts because they're cutting through this defense right now. And that, I think, Jay, tell me if I'm wrong, but when they got that huge gain on the long bomb, that's when it clicked in for UBC that they had a chance and they could smell it.
Well, they went from being on defense to being on offense, literally.
Yeah.
They now didn't need the clock was not an issue because they had enough time to work through their 30-second offense in a whole minute now.
Yep.
Where it said, and that long bomb was a long bomb. That was a 60-some yard.
And they didn't tackle him right away.
Right?
Yeah.
He kind of got away from it and got like an extra like 15, 20 yards. Which
Yeah,
if they
it just-
tackle him right there, right where he catches it, that gives you just even this was
backbreaker,
every yard
man.
counts.
It's heartbreaking
Yeah.
to see the way that they lost, given the season that they had, and like they should have won that game.
Yes.
Well, that's like the sad thing about it. It wasn't like they would have been lucky to win that. It wasn't like they were stealing the game. Had they won, they should have won that game.
Blake Nill said after the game they got lucky. UBC got lucky.
Yeah, they pulled an Oilers from the other night.
UBC is 18.5-point favorites this weekend.
Yeah, and they're hosting the X-Men.
Yeah,
CFX.
and it's just like, man, that could have been the Bears.
Can you imagine that at Foot Field?
With the
Ah,
with
awesome.
weather we're
Weather.
having.
The
this
weather we're
weekend.
having.
Plus 12.
Oh, I would have
You
spent
know.
all week on EST trying to pack Foot Field.
Last
But
weekend in the Hardy Cup, you punch your ticket to the Vanier Cup.
Yes.
Winning that game. I hate to say it.
it would,
but-
and but the good news for the Bears football team, it's mostly returning.
Yep, they do. They
So
have
it's
a lot of depth.
and you get that whole redemption mindset all off season when you get to start next year with.
Well, you get there.
This
you
is
get
our
a taste of
revenge
it.
year.
Right?
This is we're gonna show that no Canada West is ours.
Jay,
So.
did you catch the UBC kicker with the wave?
Yeah, I wanted to punch him in the face.
Do you think that fuels the guys? They remember that for next year?
I hope they do.
Because I saw that
Yeah,
the
I hope
little
they
and
do.
I was like,
That takes a special athlete to do that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I don't know. Me, I would never do that. It's not in my psyche. I don't give a you know what about the other team that we just beat.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate with my guys.
Yeah.
You know, waving the bye-bye. Like
I
you're just a
noticed it right
loser.
away, and I was like,
But he's
going
going to regret that.
Yeah.
He'll regret that. He'll have that, memory of him kicking the game-winning convert
Yep.
and essentially, in the name of sportsmanship, ruining it by
Yep.
doing stuff like that. My man
Karma,
Struddy
man.
would never do that.
What do you think back when Big Save Dave Riddich or whatever?
Stick toss.
Stick toss.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
And then he suffered after that. Like
Yeah.
you just don't want to give the other team that ammunition, right, to get you.
Oh,
fired
yeah,
up
bulletin
for next
board.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Material for sure.
It just doesn't make sense at all. Big Save Dave. Not
So I
appropriate
think we should talk about, Iwanyk while
We
he's
need to
gone.
work on that.
name. Wow.
He is
He's
a
got some-
troubled soul, hey?
Yeah.
Wow.
Thorny.
Maybe we should reach out to his parents.
The walls are up high. The
walls are thin here.
Well, his parents would be like, yeah, we know. We tried.
We
Do
tried.
anything?
Yeah.
I mean, he just started eating seafood, last year?
Did you
I
really?
guess so. I don't know. I still can't.
What?
But I have an allergy.
Of what?
Like
All
shellfish?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got really sick in Vegas. We went down there for just a trip, my wife and I. This was years ago. Actually, it was UFC 100.
Oh yeah, I was there
happening?
that weekend too.
Really?
Yeah, I went to UFC 100.
Oh, get out of here. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're there,
Crazy.
and we're staying at the Mandalay Bay.
Nice spot.
Great spot,
Yeah.
but not Mandalay Bay, the one beside it.
Oh,
but it's still
Delano.
something like yeah.
Tropicana.
So
That's a bit rough.
Sandman.
Yeah.
Sandman off of the strip. No, so we're staying there, and we go up to our room, check in, and I've got, of course, like the tall boy that I bought in the gas station on the way. Like, just loving Vegas. I think it was first time my wife and I had been there together. We go up to our room, beautiful room. We did it on like air miles, so it was it was like we splurged, right? So go up to a room, coming down, elevator stops at our floor. We get in, and I'm looking, and there's a lot of it's a big elevator, a lot of people in. I'm looking in the corner. I'm like, "Are you George St. Pierre?" He's like, "Hey, yeah," and he found out we were Canadian. He was staying there. Beauty guy. Got a picture with him. Love and life. I'm like, oh my gosh, George. And George St. Pierre was the king of the hill at that point. Yeah. So we go out to the Rio for supper. The Rio has a seafood buffet. Yeah. Right. And I love like crab and lobster, but I'm big shot in it. I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to eat everything. And I was eating oysters and all this other stuff that I normally don't eat. And I got incredibly ill. Like, incredibly ill. We had to go back to the room. I was laid up the whole next day. Like, I was puking. And so I told my wife, I'm like, just go, because there's that beach there, right? And the pool and everything. And they have like a man-made beach. Yeah. So I'm like, go down there and just sit in the sun, have fun, whatever. Don't worry about me. And of course, she's down there. And it's like a who's who of all these UFC fighters that are down there soaking up the sun too. And I'm like, Jesus, what a great day to leave your wife alone on the Mandalay beach while you're upstairs hurling whatever shellfish, but I still won't eat it. I can't eat it. Yeah. It's still it's like a thing in my gut that I just can't. I don't even want to look at it. Like I'll have like shrimp. Yeah. And like but I like
my throat gets like
you have an actual allergy to it. Like,
Right. But that happens when you try vegetables too, isn't it? You have a
I like
emotional allergic reaction to it. No. You eat veggies?
Isn't that a Dusty thing?
Dusty won't touch veggies.
He doesn't like veggies.
He won't touch
like
veggies.
vegetables.
What if his kids eat veggies? Do you know? His wife's got to be.
They must.
Yeah,
Tam
she
must
tries
have
to make him
some veggies.
smoothies and like shove veggies in the smoothies.
It's a good way to
mask
start.
it with fruit and stuff.
It's like anything. Like kids will like my kids used to hate potatoes. They thought they were disgusting. But now they like them. Eggs were the same thing.
Love mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes are great.
They are great.
Best.
Do you have any food things you don't eat?
I'm emotionally allergic to mushrooms. They grow in the dark.
And they grow in poo.
Yeah, I know. So it's not ideal. I'll eat anything.
True.
Pretty
Good
much.
point.
I like the shellfish. And, whatever. I'll eat whatever.
Yeah. That's what we have for dinner.
Yes.
This dinner needs to happen.
We'll make it work somehow. I'm sure I'll just could find a way. I'll find when he's out with his family, and I'll just come and join him and stuff.
Welcome, Maddie. Welcome.
He won't say no to me.
I was telling you guys about this kid or these
Actually,
guys.
there's a story of you driving Eric home from a Christmas party once, and he was in the back seat or something, and he's laughing. I remember him telling me the story about how you instead of like focusing on driving, you kept wanting to talk to Eric.
So we had two kids in car seats, and I wasn't about to take the car seats out for Eric.
Those are terrible.
He's like, I'll just sit on it. So I think he sat on the car seat, and my wife's like, boy, this guy's a nice guy. And we drove him across, and that was like one of the first ones we had over there, I think, or one of the only ones I remember, actually.
Highlands Golf Course, where we used to have our that was one of our last Christmas parties we had at 1260. Yeah. Struddy, it was great having you on. Really appreciate this.
That was a lot of fun.
Got Your Back podcast.
Got Your Back podcast, yeah. I've run some D-man camps, but they're pretty full, so.
No big deal.
No, just kidding.
Of course they are.
Just kidding,
Website for that?
Sold out.
Just in case?
No, jasonstrudwick.ca. I'm just kidding.
And the Got Your Back podcast, you guys will have a post-game edition tomorrow after that game.
Yeah, after that game.
Yeah, just wait till we're done the oil stream.
Try to
post-game,
Was Gager on the oil stream? I better...
tomorrow, Sean Bell is in for Cass.
Try to figure out what's up with Rashog in you, though, because he took a lot of shots at you. You were great to him, but he took a lot of shots at you. So
just for the record, it could have been Brownie. He's got login capabilities too.
Oh, he does?
Well,
didn't Schauger put in a big EST order for merch? I think he did.
I'll say this. I think Rob Brown would say it was Rob Brown.
Yeah, he would own up to it.
Yeah. I don't think he would.
He may have on there.
Pretty noble.
No, I think.
Yeah, classy.
I think that was Rashog trying to put the attention on Brownie over there, but Brownie would come out just outright say, "No, this is me, Brownie." Yeah. Straight up, he's not afraid of Struddy.
If you want some dirt on Cassian is the widest stick handler I've ever seen. So Cass is, no matter what he's doing, he always skates and the widest stick handling. Even if he's trying to skate fastest, he never has like little. It's always like windshield wiper wide. And I always notice that. I never told him because he was tougher than me, but I'll tell you guys now when he's not here, so you can bring it up.
My mom yesterday at dinner, she's like, I like Matt Cassian. He's so smart. And I'm like, yes, he's very smart. She's like, what kind of player was he? And I was like, here's a video of him in a huge fight with, I think, Colton Orr or something. She's like, oh my God. And I'm like, guess what? His dad's a chaplain. She's like, what? She just couldn't comprehend. He was a fighter, but he's a nice guy. He's intelligent, and his dad is chappy. And my mom was just blown away by all of it. And she loves Gager and Belzy.
Yeah, wide stick handler, though.
Wide stick handler.
Criticize
That
for
might
him.
knock him down a couple of
You
pegs.
got
My
anything on
mom's book.
Belzy?
No, Belzy was perfect.
Okay.
He was,
Yeah, he's
We'll
immaculate.
leave that one.
He was
Yeah.
nothing,
Thanks again, Struddy, for
Anytime,
coming by.
guys.
Jay,
Yeah.
it was great having you on again.
Thank you.
Prep for that draft next Friday.
Good luck.
And are we doing the whole day of it? Like,
Well,
it's
the draft will be the Hangout again.
because that's Thanksgiving.
the Friday, but then we're also going to do a watch along on YouTube.
Oh, for the game that
The
day.
game Oilers
Washington.
Caps. So if you can stick around for that if you'd like. If not, if you have to go to work, you can go to work. You can do whatever
I
you
might
want.
just close the store for the day.
Perfect.
I'm all good with that. And Tommy, thanks for this as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a nap before the oil stream, so it's all good.
You have something to say quickly?
Oh, I was gonna say we should have like some kind of good lunch for the watch party. Like
Okay.
some kind of snacks and something.
We'll figure that out.
I know you're not cool with appetizers.
No, I'm
and-
just it's
Desserts
10:58.
stuff,
It's
but-
10:58, and I gotta connect Huss to the lock shop. So
Oh,
I
it's
guess
all
I
about
could do
you,
we could do
Matthew.
EST planning afterwards when it comes to that.
I'm sorry.
Coming up next, it's Lock Shop. Huss, Pat Gregoire thinks on maybe Jake from Coolbet as well. And then at noon, Tommy and I will work through our differences live on the oil stream. As from noon until 1, we'll get you set for the Oilers 4-game road trip. On behalf of, can I call you Jason quickly?
Yes.
On behalf of Jason, and Tom, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning into the
You
ESD
know
Angle
it.
presented by Mott's Clamato Caesar. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Go Canada. Tom and I will talk with you at noon. Lock Shop coming up next.